It's crazy, the growth. They don't even want to admit that it's happening. They don't want to admit that this shit is happening. But it's fucking happening. It's fucking happening. Look at this. Look at the number keep going up. It's fucking happening. We are absolutely gonna take over the fucking YouTube space by storm. We are going to take over the YouTube space by storm. One would even say we're gonna hypnotize the YouTube space. But that's what we're gonna do. And we're gonna do it just exactly how we're doing it now. So I want to close out the live stream, but just stick around for another minute because I want to just say something. Wow, this just jumped up a lot. To those of you who joined the live stream, I don't know how many views this got. I just saw the viewers go up, down, but they were at 200,000 at its prime. Amazing. Thank you so much for your constant support. What you guys are doing for me, I honestly can't thank you enough. I just can't. To those of you who super chatted me tonight, thank you. I appreciate that so much. You didn't have to do that, but because you did, I just wanted to give you a special shout out and say thank you for the support. You're phenomenal. Everybody in here is phenomenal. What we're doing, we're having so much fun, and this was a very successful first episode in my opinion. All right, this is only our first stream. The sky's the fucking limit from here. This is our first stream, and we're here. We did phenomenal. So I just want to thank you for making my first stream fantastic, and I will continue to do my best to make sure that every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we come together and we shoot the shit. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna shoot the fucking shit together, and we're gonna make fun of some idiots. That's what we do. Thank you everybody for being here. Much appreciated. This is our second night in a row, or I should say a second week in a row, on a Saturday night.
All right, we are live. Hope you guys can hear us. Welcome everybody.
Hey, how's it going?
Saturday Night Hypnosis is officially live. First round table ever. Holy crap, man. We have come this way. Look at us. This is amazing. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Saturday Night Hypnosis. Thank you again for joining us on our second roundtable. Much appreciated.
Hello.
Welcome yet again. We are on episode number 6, boys. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel?
Well done for you.
Feel accomplished.
Well done for me. Well done for you guys. It's a team effort here on Saturday Night Hypnosis, man.
And Dragon Slayer, the new guy. Take it away, sir.
Oh, of course. Well, look, I'm actually Smaug's less-known cousin.
Approximately 10 hours later.
My name is Fatal J. If you check out my YouTube content.
Gay! What's going on, everybody? Welcome again.
Hello. Here we are again. Yeah.
Here we go with the fucking glasses.
I thought it was time to reveal to everyone that I am the real Hypnotic. This has been my stand-in the entire time.
Anyway, welcome once again. Saturday Night Hypnosis, episode 10.
Wow.
And
Well done.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize it was 10 episodes in until I started doing the thumbnail, and I was like, holy shit, we're at 10.
What are you 10 already?
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Welcome everybody to Saturday Night Hypnosis. Unfortunately, Will called out on us at the last second. Mr. Will, it's okay. We forgive him. We forgive the British like we did before. We'll do it again, and make sure that he is
What
missed.
can we do?
Make sure he knows that he is missed.
Welcome everybody to episode number 12.
We're all no longer in the theater for Wakanda Forever. We were finally released. Nice to have fresh air.
Man, the X.
You mean you didn't have to stay in guard the theater and protect everybody from angry white people? No?
Yesterday I told you I went in my Antifa disguise so nobody would notice, so I got a pass.
What's up, guys? Everybody, we are live officially, number 14. Episode 14 of Saturday Night Hypnosis. This is fantastic. It's so awesome. Subscribers, let me throw it. Oh, hold on. Casey's in the chat. Let me throw her up here real quick.
Yeah,
What's up?
she is.
Hey guys.
That girl Casey, what's going on?
I'm good. How y'all doing? Can you hear
What's
me?
up? Yeah,
Yes,
loud
we
and
can-
clear.
We can
Finally
hear
get to
you.
meet you. Hi,
Yes,
Casey. What's
nice
up?
to meet you. Yes,
Nice,
nice to
nice.
meet you. Nice to meet you all.
What is
What's up,
with
what's
the
up, what's up?
names? What is with the names? What are we
You
I don't know
doing?
what you mean.
What do you
What
mean?
are you
talking about?
What do you
Talking
mean,
about?
man?
What
I
the
don't know.
fuck
Maybe
is-
we all just.
I'm
It just
offended.
makes me
You said
so
you're
happy to
offended.
see names that break that stereotype.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's shattering
Yeah.
glass ceilings here.
Yeah.
What the
We're-
hell?
We're
Oh
setting
my
new
God.
boundaries, okay? This
Yeah,
is
we're
the
the
new
first.
frontier.
We invented new names.
If you don't
Exactly.
understand, you're obviously just a filthy bigot.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
And a
Wow.
Misogynist. Why you're asking misogynist?
Wow.
Exactly.
You know,
You have to
okay,
ask,
I'll
you'll
just
never
leave. I'll
know.
just leave. Fuck it.
Get out of here, bitch. Get out.
Good.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Episode number 19. Of course, it is the holiday, as we are all aware.
You ain't supposed to be trans. You ain't supposed to be that. That's an abomination. That goes against the thing of the Most High of the God. Period.
I mean,
That's
I
what
grew
it's
up around white people. I'm on a panel with how many white people?
Think what,
Me
two?
and Slayer,
Yeah,
me and Slayer are Hispanic, so.
We're the
Hispanic.
minority here.
But anyway, shout out everybody. Welcome to Saturday Night Hypnosis number 26. Hope everybody's having such a fantastic evening. We, of course, have a brand new guest. Shout out to Cult Classic Cage, aka Cassie.
Yeah, this guy right here is
Pretty kitty.
Ziggy. Yeah, he's a good little guy. I just gave him catnip for the first time today, so he was literally rolling around on my carpet for like an hour.
That's
I'm sure.
No, I'm sure.
That-
Yeah, so
That cat was probably
he's
drugged up.
about 8 months, and he's a happy cat, and I love him.
We also have a special guest tonight. I'm going to add him to the stream now. There we go.
Oh.
You got
How's it going?
Ninjas and
What's
Nerds News. What's up, man? You prefer to go by, is it Atreus? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, you're saying it right. I'm trying to figure out how I can, because this is my first collaboration, guys. So I'm trying to figure out how I can do this while muting my mic and talking to you guys. I don't want it playing through the speaker, so I'm gonna probably put my headphones on. So if you can give me a second.
Mr. Ryan Roger. What's up, man? Tell them who you are.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. My name is Ryan Roger Athe. I am the host and founder of Reality Based, which was supposed to be my actual channel's name, but I came up with it a year into this, so
Take it away, man.
Yo, hi, I'm Copa. I worked in the Hollywood industry until I canceled myself right out of there. And now I write books and I run a channel called Copa Catania where I review movies and try to preserve what good we have left in this culture.
So you create camps and different variations.
Bro, you why fucking Velma?
George, is that you? Have you come back to life?
No.
Got Words of Paradise. Take it away, man. Tell them who you are, how to find you, all that good stuff, and who the bird is.
Yeah, I am Words of Paradise. But first, I want to tell you guys about Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. It is it's getting warm out there. The summer months are coming, and we can't crack open the cold one with the boys with Bud Light anymore because they have sided with the trannies. So drink Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar because the summer months are great and it's zero sugar. It will help you look good in your Speedo. Sorry, I wanted to channel my inner Ben Shapiro there for a bit. Yeah, no, I'm Leon Idol. I'm with Words of Paradise.
Welcome to episode number 41 of Saturday Night Hypnosis with special guest Zax in the chat. What's going on, Zax? How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. And that was a banger.
Black lives don't matter.
Oh,
Hey, yo!
I knew it. I knew it.
CW Gimli is at it again.
He not say Lynchfield? I heard him
Yeah, he
fucking
did.
say
Oh!
No.
His name. He said
Atreus is-
Lynchfield. I knew it. Get this guy out of here, man.
Atreus is already detecting micro racism in every word we say.
Micro.
Yes.
All right.
God.
Good old Melanie Mack. Take it away.
Hey, bags!
All right, I'm done. It's 13. I'm leaving. You guys take over the show.
I'm excited to be here. I feel like everybody's already starting out strong with stuff, so might as well join the party. But
The guest tonight, of course, is Mr. Justin is Lost, aka now Justin Reloaded. Unfortunately, we will get into why that is. Justin, welcome, man. How you doing?
As good as I can be, but I appreciate you having me on. It really means a lot.
yo, who did that
You
to China's
monster.
president, yo? Nope.
Jay, how could you, man?
Poor weenie over there. Kids are crying. You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, you're muted.
No, keep
Yeah,
talking. We can hear you.
Talk.
It wasn't me. It fell right in front of me on a post.
How typical of a response.
Very coincidental.
I didn't mean to laugh at him. He just kind of fell in a comical way, you know.
Before we get to the next person, I do got a question though.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead.
So you're not Asian? Like,
No.
No.
How do you not know
It's
this
a
Latina,
bro.
Where
did you get Asian from?
Did you think I'm half Asian this whole time? I'm half Puerto Rican? Like.
Holy crap. Ladies and gentlemen. Wow. 52 episodes, man. 52 episodes. Hope you guys can hear me well. Of Saturday Night Hypnosis, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, the panel is here, so don't freak out because I'm by myself. The panel is here. They're behind the screen right now. Just wanted to say really quick early on in the stream, thank you guys so much. Wow. I mean, it has been insane. It has been a roller coaster. When I was watching those videos, trying to put that intro together, I went through like memory lane, and I cannot believe that we are 52 episodes deep. You know, I made a promise in that first clip. I remember saying in that first clip, which is why I'm glad I recorded it, that I said I was going to bring the best show I could possibly bring every single Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I feel like myself and the panel, we have held that promise up for the last year. And it's been a grind. It's been rough. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes some nights are harder than others, but it's always been a great time. It's always been fun. And the chat has always been amazing. So I just wanted to give my own personal thank you to everybody who's here to celebrate 52 episodes. And listen, we're going to have another 52 episodes over the next year. So I hope you guys will come along for the ride as we continue to collaborate with awesome people, awesome guests, and just try to enjoy the YouTube space as I promised we would. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on the panel. What is going on, everybody? Make sure you guys are not muted. Thank you guys again. And let's do our intros, man. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 52 of Saturday Night Hypnosis. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. It is awesome to see everybody here in the chat as people come in. Thank you again for all the special guest tonight, the Puerto Rican Pistolero. Hope I'm saying that right. What's up, Rolo? How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on. I've heard good things. I know Steph and Jay, Drunk 3PO, were on here, and Melanie, who I got to meet this week, and everybody said they had a great time on the stream. So I'm looking forward to it. And congratulations on 1 year, man. That's a big deal.
Thank you, my good
awesome.
sir.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
Awesome.
I appreciate that a lot. It's been a hell of a year. There's been so much going on throughout. You know, I mean, we cover all kinds of topics. We're not just entertainment channel. We talk a little bit about politics every now and then. We kind of dabble in a little bit of everything, gaming and whatnot. And, you know, we just have a great time, and we've grown a lot. You know, obviously I started off as myself, and then I brought the guys on, the original guys with me who are still with me today. You know, Coach and Will and Wyatt, you know, they're all still here. And obviously we brought more people in over time. And I feel like, you know, we made our own little space here, and it's nice to see 52 episodes later, we're still here, you know, so it's cool. I enjoy it, but I appreciate you stopping by and going to shoot the shit with us for the next couple of hours. You know, it means a lot to me. So thank you again.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's do our intros, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a lot to talk about. Of course, you know, Hollywood doesn't stop. Business doesn't stop. You know, for the anniversary, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. We're going to jump on it, but we're going to start off with good old words of paradise. Take it away.
Hi guys.
Fuck.
Here,
God.
they call you
I'm
the
done.
bigot army,
I'm done.
but your 1 year anniversary, and you let a tranny come on the show. That is the opposite of bigoted, and you are inclusive. Hypnotic. We just wanted to say thank you. I want to thank you for letting me come back, and to the cute Welshman with the great accent. I know how much you love trannies. So.
Show us your titties.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're actually kind of stacked. Wow, impressive.
Wow.
This stream is sponsored by Bud Light. Unbelievable. Welcome, Leona. Make sure you change your name so people know.
Thank you. And I want to let everybody know that song, Richmond, North of Richmond, is incredibly transphobic. It would be awful if you guys don't get the views up and all of you like it.
Ryan, how you feeling, Ryan? I see you sweating, Ryan. Ryan's sweating right now.
I can't look at it.
Oh my god.
My God.
Atreus, man, take it away, sir. Oh shit. What is everybody pulling out all the stops?
Oh man.
What's going on, sir? Can you speak?
What the fuck was that, Leon?
Leona, do not dead name me.
Do not dead name
I
me.
had this fucking intro set up and you just fucked it up.
There was fair warning last week, to be fair.
Good.
There was. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yo, it's your boy Atreus, man. Happy 1 year anniversary, Hypnotic, my Latinx brethren. I hope
Fuck you.
another 50. Leon, what the fuck, man?
He can't even focus. Can't even focus, man.
I forgot my entire. Where are my lines? Where are my
African American.
Yeah, now you're blaming him.
Get your
It could
script.
always be worse.
I can't even find my fucking script.
His name is Atreus. Watch his bullshit on Kick and YouTube.
He roasts black people. Oh my god. What just happened? Did you leave? What did you?
What?
Oh man, he's gone.
Oh my god, no way. No way. He'll come back, I'm sure. All right. So we got Ryan Roger Athe, which I don't know what is on your head.
I put a hat on because I've just noticed I've been on the show for 22 times. My hairline really is dying. It's good to see that Kathy is showing off her pussy, and it's good to see that Wood has come out as a tranny demon pussy. So it's great to be here, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see that the African American is gone, and it's good to see that Latinos have taken over because my grass really needs cutting. Thanks for watching.
Oh my God, Ryan! Jesus Christ, man! Oh God,
he's back.
Damn,
And he's black.
what you do? Send me to the
back.
shadow room?
No, I was wondering what happened to you. Holy shit! All right,
The ninja vanished.
our special guest tonight, of course, Rolo, the Puerto Rican pistolero. I cannot have him do an intro though without playing this, of course.
We are also praying for the people of Puerto Rico. We love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. And we also love Puerto Rico.
Rolo, take it away, man. Take it away.
You know when Jeremy from D-Day Cobra from Geeks and Gamers found that, and he was like, I got to put this on here, and I was like, there's a better version of it. The full version is even better.
Nice.
And it's just become part of the stream after that, and it's pretty crazy to see how everyone's embraced that, and they dropped the Puerto Rican flags in the chat. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, we actually added Puerto Rican flag emojis for this stream, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you guys use it in the chat, and tell them about yourself, Rolo.
Yeah, so I'm one half of Locked and Loaded Latinos. The other half is my wife, who you should have on sometime. She's pretty awesome, and I'm not just saying that so I won't sleep on the couch tonight.
No, I'm down. I'm down.
So yeah, we do a show usually every Sunday on YouTube over here. We started talking about guns. That's what we're into. You can see that there's random guns lying around here, and and we started talking about Second Amendment advocacy. pop culture, things like that. There you go. There's my wife right there, Latina Locked and Loaded. And we eventually just, it's crazy how YouTube just kind of ends up throwing you in different places. One of Eric July's, his actual producer, she actually watched our show for a while, and she's like, hey, I know you guys like Eric. You want to be on his show? We met Eric, and eventually that kind of took our circle in different directions, and we ended up being part of Geeks and Gamers down the road. So that's what we're doing nowadays. We do a lot of the gaming streams there, and we've got our show. So it's been a crazy couple of years on YouTube. So, but thanks for having me on, man. It's awesome.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Absolutely.
And of course, we have our local Miami Heat coach, the MC Studio himself, man. Take it away. One of the originals, man. I'm so happy to have you, Coach.
How much time do we have?
I can't.
Doesn't matter. Coach gets all the time he wants today.
I know there are some bigger problems in the world and bigger things to resolve. And of course, there's always a new crisis waiting behind the curtain. But I just want to take this very quick minute out just to kind of address something. A year ago, I was probably in one of my, the toughest patches of my life I was going through, like personally, nothing health-wise, but in a way, it was more psychological. I was about to kind of, move over to the US, but I was in a process of taking everything that I kind of accumulated over in Europe in 35 plus years of living and working experience and kind of put it in a box and ship it over the ocean. And still there were so many issues, and I was working for 6 years in a row, and that was my last year there. And I really, that last year, even yes, I should, consider myself whatever privileged, and still I had to work and be there, even though I didn't really want to be there anymore. And so it was really one of the toughest years of my life. I can clearly tell that. Also the bureaucracy, the madness going on with documents with the US, flying to the embassy, having interviews. It was just crazy and all over the place, while managing my coaching appointments, while being on set every day, while having also, a marriage to kind of, carry on. So it was like really, really tough. And I'm just going to say, out of the bottom of my heart, thank you, Hypno Man, because like jumping on the show every Saturday, even if it was like back then like 2:00 in the morning or 1:00, I don't remember anymore. It's just it's already kind of fading and gone, but it was truly like early in the morning. But that show kept my sanity for 1 year. It kept me alive. It kept me going. It was my catalyst to kind of, speak English, to be around like-minded people. I always wanted, for the entirety of my life, I wanted to move to the US. So that was really like a big dream coming true. And I was on the last couple of meters. I was getting that fatigue of 6 years going through the process of green card and everything. And so that year, starting with Saturday Night Hypnosis, being a guest on your show, talking with all these beautiful creators, plunging in all these crazy stories and having these incredible laughs and blasts, and also very, sometimes also deep and reflective and conversational moments that really kept me alive, that really kept me sane, it kept me going. That year, I survived thanks to you, thanks to the panel, thanks to Will, thanks to Wyatt, thanks to Dragon, thanks to all of the beautiful creators, and thanks to the chat, of course, thanks to everything, because it kind of helped me also focus a little bit more on YouTube and creating drawings and all that. And so thank you, man. Thank you for making this happen. I can't wait to kind of, tackle the next 52 episodes, to be here for a full year. Now we're on the same time zone. So it's beautiful. Thank you so much for this ride, for this adventure. Guys, if you want to have your ride as well, and you want to be creative and you want to be seen and you want to get acknowledged with your stories, not with your victimhood, but with your warriorhood, with something that you carry inside that you think is, meaningful and important and somehow valuable, and you want to express that in the most impactful way, you'll be more than welcome to come over to the Coach MC studio. And because of this 52 1-year anniversary, I'm gonna do something crazy here. Everybody who's watching this right now in the chat room, you can hit me up on www.thecoach.studio, coachmc.studio. For 10 years now, I've been an acting coach, helping people to get into entertainment industry with a lot of success, I might also add. And so if you happen to be one of those people, jump to my website, hit me up with a personal message. I'm going to guarantee you a free trial session for free, 65, 70 minutes, no strings attached. I'm going to help you, giving you the best methods, the best tools, the best instruments. I get it. and 35 plus years of acting experience. So one-time offer only. This is for the beautiful chat for having supported us also in bad times. I just want to make this happen. And yeah, everybody who hits me up is going to get a lesson. So have fun with that and have fun with the next 52 episodes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, my good sir. Damn, man.
Awesome. Yep.
Emotional evening tonight. Holy crap.
By the way, Coach, I
Yes,
know you
sir.
sent me like 10 kilos of cocaine. I'm not gonna lie to you. I lost, dog.
Let me
Like,
take a note.
I'm not gonna lie. I snorted it all, dog. You're not getting that back.
It explains the memory loss.
Yeah,
That explains a lot.
I needed
All
this.
right. Well, we also have Cult Classic Cage, who joined us 20 some odd episodes in and has been a raging success throughout the stream, every stream she's been in. And I mean that with all puns intended. Take it over.
Man. Yeah, it's crazy. First off, congratulations. It's awesome to not just be here, but to meet a bunch of people that we all support each other. We all want to see each other succeed. There's no malice. There's no jealousy. There's no none of that. And that's a beautiful thing to have you guys around us all.
It's different.
I've seen some real hate in different communities. I really have. I've seen some nasty stuff. That's why personally I like to branch out into different communities. I don't want to stay around cesspools, and that's important. There's definitely always interesting, fun people to meet. And I'm happy to say you guys are definitely a huge highlight. And I love being here. I love, reading the BS that happens in the DMs. I may not always be there, but I'll be checking out what y'all be talking to each other about for sure. Because it's okay, what nonsense y'all up to today? But it's awesome. And I was trying to have Ziggy over here to say hi with me, but he was growling, literally growling. So
nice.
Angry
he wanted
pussy.
to go. Angry pussy wanted to go walk off so he could lick his feet. That's literally what he decided to do instead. But thank you so much, man. They really don't. Thank you so much for having me here, and it's hilarious to think that you found me while I was laughing at a spoof you made of a Twitch streamer virtue signaling about how they don't feel it's morally correct to play the fucking Harry Potter game.
Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah,
It was actually pretty damn hilarious. I'll never forget that day. It was pretty good.
It was, man. I loved it. I'm I love meeting people that just go against the grain just because it's funny. And a lot of people think, oh man, you just do and say this shit because people are racist, sexist, blah, blah, blah. No, it's just because you set these stupid ass standards and you think you're the fucking morality police that we just naturally say no. And we're going to defy your rules, and we're you try to cancel us, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. And that's the important thing. And being here is an act of rebellion, one that I genuinely enjoy. So thank you for having me here. And I am Cassie Cage of the Cult Classic Cage Show on YouTube, Twitter, and Kick. Let's get it on, man. Let's do it.
Awesome. And none other, I should say, other than good old Dragon Slayer commentaries. Someone who's also been with me since episode 7, I think it was, something like that.
I think it was
5 or 6.
5 Rings
6.
of Power. So
6, I think. I think it was 6. But regardless, he's been with me a long time, and we give him a lot of shit. And he does derail streams, and he does go on forever. Yes, he does. And we love him, man. I love Dragon Slayer. He gives us that different perspective that I think the channel really benefits from. So with that being said, Slayer, this is the one time you get to speak as long as you want, but I hope, my good sir, don't make it an hour. All right, take over.
Okay, sure. Well,
what
what's
is
up,
that?
guys?
You can make it an hour. Just make it an hour. Of
What's that top headline?
Oh, well, even
Atreus, can you read that? I can't say that word.
Yeah, what does it say?
What's it say?
Even crazy ass tranny demons, dragons
No.
like me can sport a good
You
trip.
motherfucker, no. Read it again. Damn it, get some glasses. Get some glasses.
Come on, Dragon. Just say it, Dragon. Just say it. Just let it roll off your tongue.
Slayer, don't say it. Don't do it.
Don't say it. That word is highly offensive and problematic.
What exactly is rolling off of his tongue?
Even? Great.
Oh my God, Cass, you just had to make it weird.
Hey,
All
come
right,
on
Slayer,
now.
do your intro. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh God. Well, yeah, guys, I've been on here for so long. I don't even remember that first clip where I had that shitty avatar. You know, nowadays I'm dressing up these triple personality characters in the most crazy ass way, saying the most insane crap. And yes, I've been making a lot of memes. And you know, to be honest, I've actually I'm very glad I found this stream. The way I found Hypno stream was in the most random way possible. I was just watching one of his videos on Rings of Power by chance, and he just made a comment on that video of, "Oh, I'm gonna be making a live stream. Any small creator can join." And so I told him that I wanted to join, but I couldn't do it that week that he wanted to. So I showed up on the one after. And ever since then, I honestly have never felt so thankful for being with the people that I've met now. As a matter of fact, it was at a time where I felt like I hadn't found something else to do in terms of like a secondary purpose or something that could make me feel even better. And when I finally took that first step on YouTube, it was like a very rough road at the time. You know, it was just a rough road of learning. But that road became way much easier to manage once I found these crazy ass bastards in this panel. You know, even though I say the most crazy shit, I appreciate them with all my heart. And they are the reason at the end of the day that I make videos for. Because let's be honest, there's some days, you guys know this, where you just don't want to make a fucking video. But then all of a sudden one of these guys in the DMs are like, "Bro, no, do it. I want to hear your opinion on it." And then I'm like, "Well, okay, yeah, why not? Doesn't hurt to try something new." And it's because of that I am who I am now, Chad. And why you crazy motherfuckers keep wanting me to make memes and make fun of Atreus and Ryan and sort of start a weird race war. Not sure when that's going to happen.
They could start
But,
their own race war, to be honest with you.
You have a very high-pitched voice, Dragon.
What?
I think it's time.
Yeah,
Don't mind
very
Ryan.
high voice.
Ryan is just making a noose right now. So
Oh
okay.
my God.
Lord.
Anyway, go ahead, Slayer.
Give Ryan one of the gold guns and give Atreus one, and let them do 10
Yeah.
paces.
Exactly. I'll give Leon the God of War blades, and I don't know. Maybe I'll give some other. What do we have? Any other? I'll give Coach the shotgun just so he can keep order in the enclosure. You know, it's kind of normal.
I mean, Rolo's got a ton of guns, so we could probably just ask him for one, to be honest with you.
There's
Probably.
there's a few that we can choose in here.
Probably, yeah. But yeah,
And the
guys,
only thing I need from God of War is that big burly man now.
Oh,
I can't keep looking at it. It's just too much.
I can't.
Anyway, Slayer, go ahead. Sorry, finish.
No.
Sorry.
It's all good. But yeah, guys, I just make very neutral videos. By neutral, I mean I actually go into detail of why I dislike or I love something in movies and TV shows, and actually give you the context while providing some comedy along the way, so that you can understand the reasoning behind why people like us dislike certain things that Hollywood throws at us. And even though YouTube has tried its hardest in fucking us over with its current algorithm, we are still going to keep going. We're still going to say what we want to say. And if that video gets 50 views or 200,000 views, it doesn't fucking matter. You know why? Because people saw it regardless. That's me.
I mean, it kind of matters at 200,000 views, but I agree with what you're saying.
I know. You know what I'm trying to say here.
I
Come
know.
on,
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
No, Slayer, seriously, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate that you are unbelievably consistent, and you know, you're here every single stream, no matter what. Like, I can't even remember one that you've missed, to be honest with you. Maybe the holiday one. I think you went on vacay one time. That's like the one time you weren't on the stream. Otherwise, you were here. So I really, really appreciate that, man. But with that being said, that's our intros, man, and we're ready to get the show on the road. Chat, I see all of you here. We're almost at 200 viewers between Rumble and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button. Support the stream any way you can, and let's get into it. So we're going to segue into our first topic because it's going to be a long one. It's the one that everybody's been talking about. I don't know why she is still in the news, but apparently she is, and I guess it's because people keep digging and digging and digging and digging on all her old stuff. But Rachel Zegler, we're going to talk about Rachel Zegler. I know Atreya has been talking about her a lot. I think Atreya has posted on Twitter, like, this bitch is still trending on Twitter or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny because she's
But
been
it's
trending
true.
for like days. And it's true. It's like,
No,
why is she trending?
weeks. She has been trending for 2
Has it been past
weeks.
Wow. It's crazy.
Look, when you
I'll
are
defend myself, Atreus.
No, the belt. No,
Yeah, she's been
but,
trending for 2 weeks. That is insane. Absolutely insane. And the reason why she's been trending is because of obviously the Snow White comments and what she's been saying about it. But the thing is, none of the stuff she's been saying is new. Like, this is all old stuff that's being repurposed and resurfaced. And obviously, I think it's because with the one of the unfortunate downsides of the writer strike, and we'll get into it, is because with the writer strike happening and the actor strike especially happening on top of that too, the news cycle is very slow. And because the news cycle is very slow, everybody now is going back in time and digging up and making articles on stuff that happened 3 months ago and trying to make it seem like it's something new or put a new spin on it. So, but again, with Rachel Zegler trending for 2 weeks, do you think anything's going to happen to this woman? Or is she just, I highly doubt it, obviously, but do you think anything's going to happen from this backlash? Because this backlash is, I would say, almost as bad, if not worse, than Brie Larson level backlash and what she experienced.
Almost.
I think she just single-handedly tanked this entire film, and I actually disagree with the idea that it's only because the writer's strike is. I think it's because there's been a lot of media, not hype, but discussion around the film. So like right before she started trending, what you started seeing was like people talking about the film. Now that, because that's Disney's, besides Captain Marvel, is Disney's next upcoming like film that isn't a Marvel film or something Star Wars related. So it's like, okay, Little Mermaid passed, Elementals passed. Okay, what's Disney's next? So everybody started turning their attention like, okay, what is Disney's next thing that could either save them or sink them even more? Well, the Snow White movie's coming up, right? Well, does it have a chance to do anything? Well, looking at these old videos, I don't know, these interviews. So people start looking at that. And I think it's going to tank that movie. I think you're going to see like Blue Beetle is tanking right now. I think you're going to see it worse than that. Me personally.
To be fair, is completely unfair. It's a bunch of toxic white males, white supremacists.
Quiet, tranny.
No,
Tomboy
right. No,
speaking.
Rachel Zegler isn't going to destroy this movie because this movie was already DOA. All the recent live action Disney remakes like Peter Pan and whatnot, they've all done horribly. This is absolutely no different. Now, is she making it worse? Sure, but this movie was going to flop anyway. And frankly, I actually think it's more sad that we got to remember Rachel Zegler, she's younger than Ryan here. Like, she's 22 years old. She got into Hollywood when she was like 17. If anything, they infected her really early. And that's actually, in my opinion, sad to see that we get these young potential stars and then what happens to them? They become these absolute. What was that, Coach?
I think it's all arranged by Disney. It was all arranged. They gave her the script to say all these really like heinous things about Snow White, and I feel they're heinous because it's really not fair to treat such a legendary and iconic and beautiful fairy tale, and also a really tasteful and elegant and beautiful kind of movie that they made out of it back in the days in such a way. They gave her the script to talk shit about that movie, and they also
I don't think so. I think she really
that's what I was about to say.
She thinks that she's
I
that
think
like that's what you have to
also
say in Hollywood. I think she's this deranged because she, I mean, who what was her first movie? It was that Steven Spielberg remake. She was 17 years old, and this is in her formative years in Hollywood. This is all she's seen is people acting like this. So I think she's doing this of her own accord because she thinks it's the right way to get ahead.
Especially with the Gina Carano situation, right?
But I want to give an input on this. I believe it could be both. It could be that because she came in at such a young age, like at 17, maybe she was influenced at some point by the current film industry and the way how things are supposed to operate. And that basically gave rise for her to foster what probably was already there, which is just her inherent narcissism. So I truly believe it could be both.
It's like for sure she's an egocentrical maniac. I mean, she's like a box of a Pandora for sure. But hey, she was hired by Spielberg when she was 16. Do you think these ideas were already existing in her head? They gave her it. They fed her the stuff. They indoctrinated her. They told her what to say in front of the camera. This was a very, very young actress. And you get to play immediately like big budget movies with legendary directors. So they told her exactly how to behave on press conferences, what to say on the red carpet. I mean, I've seen them work, and they also recorded this material that is now being released, and they are releasing it because now they say, okay, let's the gravitational pull of attention should be on her. So let's blame her. This is perfect while we are doing our whole thing. She's been played.
I agree that she's been indoctrinated. I just don't agree that it was like, oh yeah, Disney, let's get her out in front of there and start purposely tearing down the old material.
Andreas, have you seen what Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Have you seen that? Have you understand? Like, they have everything. They have all the information about you. When you enter the A-lister elite, circle in Hollywood, they know everything about you.
I agree.
They can play you in any way they like. If you're
I agree with you. I just think that I think we have a fundamental difference in thinking when it comes to. I believe that the people are at the top. I believe that there's people at the top with agendas, and I don't think they always coincide. I also think that Hollywood can be wrong because that we've seen them, not just Hollywood, just people at the top in general. I think that a lot of times they can be wrong and not anticipate it. So I agree with you. I do think she was indoctrinated. I'm not so sure that it was just Disney. I think it was just the Hollywood machine in general.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I also think it's kind of a mix, though. You guys got to remember. I kind of agree with both of you guys because they definitely indoctrinated her. They definitely fostered that mindset, and that environment that environment exists for that reason, right? They want to get these actresses and actors young because one, they're cheap, and two, they can kind of mold them into what they want from them, right? But also too, she's admitted that she's a hardcore narcissist. Like she is a woman who is definitely knows what she's doing and is okay with being, I don't want to use the word groomed, but I guess that's really the only word I can use, groomed by Hollywood to be even worse than she already was. She's fine with it. I think she's perfectly fine. I think she knows what they want her for. I think she knows that they're going to use her, and she's perfectly cool with it because it's all about her at the end of the day. And if she gets attention for this, it's fine. That's how I feel about it. But
if you look at the pictures, at the red carpet pictures, at the the press pictures, at all these Vanity Fair blah 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 interviews, that there she's comfortable, she is fine, she's in her zone, she loves doing that, right? Posing pictures, doing that smirky face. I think she really has a problem in opening up and being on set and playing and being actually an actress, right? And like you're saying, maybe it's a mix of both. I'm just not sure if Disney, with that power that they have, they would ever admit an actress saying such heinous things about such an iconic character. That was like a landmark success. We're not just talking about one of the movies Disney shot. This is one of the pillars of the foundation of Disney.
Isn't it the first? Isn't
animated
it's their
feature
first
film?
Yeah, isn't it not just their first animated feature, but their first feature-length film? Period.
Yes, the very first
from the recession.
film.
Yeah. It's a very historical film.
And so
you also
things are bad when people are asking for having
one at a time, guys. One at a time.
And to think that she could just wildly walk around Hollywood and give these interviews and say all this BS, right? I'm not sure. Disney would block that. Disney would, water down the story. Disney would take care of the videotapes. Disney would let everything disappear if they really wanted this stuff to be out of the game. Now, all of a sudden, it's popping up. I think it's a bit of a smokescreen.
This is also the company, though, that puts like trigger warnings on their own streams for classic movies that they created, though. Yeah. So I don't think this isn't the same company that was owned by Disney and then had Roy Disney take over afterwards. And that's what you're seeing with everything that's going on here. People have taken over these companies that don't care about the past, and they don't care about making money necessarily anymore. It is the kind of that Joker mentality of we're just going to burn the stack of cash because we don't care, because a lot of the purpose of this is to show you that we are in control, that there is chaos here. We are burning the past. We're destroying it. It's that same Star Wars mentality of we're going to forget the past. We're going to destroy the past. We don't care about our legacy. It's about pushing the new message and using Disney, the husk of Disney, because at this point, that's what it is, to push our agenda. Because if you can use Disney, which is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful entertainment company in history, like what else is going to stop you in the entertainment space? That's
But
how
see,
it works.
that's why I believe, and like again, I know there's conspiracy theories and all this. I know a lot of people believe in like this one entity up top who's controlling everything. I genuinely believe that it's just people driven by agendas, and just like you said, a lot of these people have taken over Disney and they have agendas. But I also believe there are people at Disney who are not with their agenda. They just all about making money. That does not necessarily mean that it's good for you or they have your best interests at heart. It's just they want to do it a completely different way. If it was really just about, oh, we don't care, we just want to control everything, there's no way, Disney would be like just burning money like this. If there wasn't people at the top trying to fight, like, listen, we want to do it this way. Bob Iger's coming out and throwing Marvel under the bus, pretty much saying, hey, listen, y'all niggas doing too much. Y'all make it. Y'all using too much money. You're doing too much bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You got other people that are coming out that used to work from them recently saying, listen, I don't work from them because they on that bullshit. But there's people up there trying to fight. So I just think it's just a fight up top. And because we live in a society where these young people have come out of these indoctrination camps, aka college, I think they consume a large part of the company now. And I think there's a lot of jostling up top to try to get back control of these companies. There's some companies that are in full control of liberals. There's other companies that are not, and so that's what I think. That's
if I ask the question, when I ask you guys, what is the three, like just off the top of your head, if you think the three biggest public-facing companies of all time, what are the first three that pop into your head?
What do you mean? Biggest? What do you mean?
Like media companies?
Like just companies, just the most recognizable big-name companies that public-facing.
That's hard.
Coca-Cola. Okay, cool. There's a good answer. For me, I would
the NFL.
So
Alphabet.
How African American of you?
Yeah, Alphabet, Apple.
You know what? I got a big ass. Oh my God! Hey, fuck you,
he got you good, man.
Before you continue, this tweet, by the way, I just wanted to say, Atreus, this tweet kind of leads credence to your argument that she's basically just like this to be like this. It's not necessarily like indoctrination, because the way that she purposefully went after Gina Carano and the statements that she made about it during that whole situation shows who she really is as a person, even without the whole Hollywood like indoctrination. So
here's the thing about
the
these
reason I asked though is because like the three that come to my head are Walmart, McDonald's, and Disney. Like those are the big three, right? Is there anything bigger than those three companies? You can maybe say Coca-Cola as well. Disney's the only one doing shit like this. Like, yeah, Walmart has, its little tiny pride section, nothing compared to Target. When's the last time you saw McDonald's put out like a tranny burger? It's only Disney. They're the one big corporation.
They need to do that.
That's a great idea, dude.
Double tranny Whopper.
Fuck out of that. Pause.
Made out of trannies who have done themselves in.
Like just
that'd be cheap
fucking
too.
Double stack tranny burger, boy. I would.
It just gets worse the more you say it.
Tranny nuggets. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but like obviously, Leon does bring up a good point that it's only Disney, but also we have to think about like in terms of just general entertainment. The common theme and is just the fact that they hate the past, or the past of what these companies themselves chose to do is evil in some way, shape, or form. And when you look at it, do they have as good a talent as they used to? No. Do they have as recognizable actors as they used to? No. They like everything has depreciated in quality, at least from what I've seen on in terms of entertainment when it comes to television and film. I don't care about any of these people, and I don't like anything that they do. But what they make this fake argument of why this entertainment is better because it's more virtuous. It recognizes the faults of the past and is trying. And while we denounce them, even though we're using these iconic franchises to our advantage, they don't want to make new stuff. They just want to basically grift off their old shit that they hate, apparently. And they just say, well, it's more virtuous now. And really what Rachel Zegler is doing just falls in line with what a lot of these mega corporation entertainment businesses have been pushing for the longest period of time, Disney included. So I have to feel at least that Disney's completely okay with her completely denouncing the original film, which is sad.
What Rollo is saying, I think each and every one of us in its own little aspect is right. It's all a combination of all this. It's definitely some narcissistic assholes like going completely nuts on their own cocaine trip and giving interviews that have nothing to do with reality. It's definitely also like a sinister kind of shadow plan of ruining the culture in itself. We've been observing this like throughout the year. I mean, very important philosophical, beautiful literature products have been slain and slaughtered and tortured, kind of to twist the mentality, the inner values of the story, and kind of corrupt the real message of the like Lord of the Rings, like the comic books that we've been, what we've been saying is pretty much all going into a certain direction. Like there is a plan that wants this to happen in a certain way, but then inside of that we have various crazy anthropic branches that are unpredictable in their behavior that all kind of do their own thing.
I have to think, like, everyone's concentrating on Rachel Zegler. The person I think is, like, I'm looking at super sus right now, it is what's her face, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, yeah.
That
Gal Gadot?
Woman with
bitch
the big
is
nose.
a fucking chameleon, okay? She plays both lines so well with Hollywood
Most of
as
them
well
are.
as with us. Like,
Yeah.
bruh, I
If she
feel
would
as
be
though,
that
like,
great
low
of
key,
an
that's the
actress,
evil
yes,
bitch.
I agree.
Like,
I've been
yo,
telling you guys for
Insane.
ages she's a good actress, and no one believed me.
Look,
I
look,
mean,
but the
Not
thing,
in her movies.
she is
She's a great
realistically,
actress, but
no,
not in her
it's
movies. Yeah.
it's like she does play this role in Hollywood where
Yeah.
she's able to be goody with Hollywood to get the roles that she gets while having genuinely no talent. She's very
she
pretty,
gets those
but she
roles
also
and-
plays the crowd too. Like at this point, I think this bitch is genuinely fucking evil. Everyone's concentrating on Rachel Zegler. She showed her cards. This bitch is holding them shit so close. And it's like, bro, no one's talking about her, but she low-key co-signs all this shit.
Actually, I mean, if you
obviously.
look at those interviews, she looks like this evil stepmother. Say the thing.
What's funny is I've had
Forehead.
so many different people.
Look
I
at
haven't
that
been able to-
nose.
You're right,
Those are
because
evil
I
eyes,
haven't
man.
been able to. I haven't been able to figure her out simply because I get so many different people that come whenever she's a subject. I get so many different people that come and say, "Oh, she's not woke," but then there's some people that say, "Oh, she's a woke idiot."
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, is this motherfucker woke or not? Like, or not woke, a feminist or not? Because like she's the one that said, "Oh, she's not going to be saved by the prince." But I distinctly remember her saying something that was pretty base not too long ago. I can't really think about it. So you're right. Like she plays both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
Very.
Where's she from? Where's she from? That land.
She's Israeli.
Israel.
She is
Yeah,
Israeli.
Israel has throughout its history has had to deal with being basically annihilated by everybody and being hated.
That's the nose reference, folks.
So Israel has to be very good at kind of negotiating things. There are times when it's like we're allied with the US, but at the same time, like we might deal with the Soviets, but the Soviets give weapons to people that we hate. So then we have to play with the US. So Israel's constantly like trying to go through that balancing act of like, we're really small, but we have to be badass at the same time. And that means we have to like thread this tightrope. So she kind of does the same thing. That's how I see it.
There's only one problem.
Yeah.
There's only one little problem.
She's just got to, that's how she plays that tightrope.
Well, there's a problem with her, and that is that she went insane. And you know how that big controversy happened around that Netflix Cleopatra show ages ago? Well,
yes,
they're still going forward with a Cleopatra movie where she will be playing Cleopatra. Do you know? And people are still speaking about it, and she is completely fine with it. Like I am just surprised.
Do you really think that if she agreed with that Netflix series that she would be participating in that? Like she was over there like, yeah, we're gonna do it the right way.
Not with Jada Smith. Not with Jada.
Bro, I'm sorry, but it's all in the eyes.
Who cares if she's woke or not? All of us have we've been saying for ages now. We just want you to keep your fucking mouth shut. 9 times out of 10, she keeps her fucking mouth shut. That's good enough for me. I'll watch her movies if she's good in them. If the movies are good, I'll enjoy her acting. But as long as she keeps her fucking mouth shut 9 times out of 10, that's all I want from actors. I don't give a damn what their politics are. Just stop preaching.
She tends to sneak in a couple things here and there, though. But that's the thing. Like she'll sneak some things in, then she'll stay quiet on other things, and it's definitely. It's all in the eyes. You could just tell.
And it's not.
Yeah, like I ain't making no accusations, but people that are that smooth tend to probably have some kids in their basement. I'm just saying.
My goodness, Cassie, you were dancing through a minefield with this. Gal Gadot is lovely. She's a wonderful woman. All of her people are great.
And just so you guys are aware, Rachel Zegler is still trending on Twitter right now.
Oh,
Mental.
I am sure. I am sure she is. Like, unfortunately, like, let me put it this way, guys. Not everyone you indoctrinate has to be ignorant. They can be a bitch too. You can indoctrinate a bitch to be a very powerful bitch. Okay, to your means. Like, it's
Nancy
exactly.
Pelosi does it all the time.
Definitely a lot of
What
bitches.
was that, Dragon? Could you repeat that?
What? Like, what? Hollywood can turn.
Atreus was laughing, so I thought.
Yeah,
I'd
Hollywood
laugh
can turn an ignorant bitch into a useful bitch. That's all I'm saying. It's true. You know I'm right.
I guess so.
German.
I mean, look,
see?
no, that's a good point. Look, there are people who are spies of bad countries that like go to the Europe or the US and they're like, this country is clearly better than my country, but I don't care. I'm still going to spy for that country. I'm not going to defect. So like there are people that drink the Kool-Aid and they don't really care whether it's beneficial or not. They believe it. So
with a surname like Zegler or Zegler or whatever the fuck it is, she doesn't look very Eastern European, does she?
I thought she was Hispanic before I knew who she was. Like the first time I saw her,
I thought the same thing too.
Yeah, right.
That does not look like a
she's not
Hispanic name. My goodness.
She's not Hispanic.
No, her name is not. But she could be. She could be married. She could be mixed. You know,
she's
that could-
Hispanic because Disney made a big deal when they
She's
cast her.
mixed.
They were bringing in the
Yeah,
first,
so, yeah.
princess.
That's what I figured. Yeah, that she's
I think
mixed.
she's half Puerto Rican, half Dominican, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so kind of like. So isn't that like
The chat is all
Rosario
over the
Dawson?
place.
Yeah, all over the place.
All right, yeah, the chat is all over the place. So what, make up your mind. What is she?
Let me play this video while everybody tries to figure out who she is.
No, I'm completely wrong, actually.
And very evidently so.
This is what got her in a lot of
There's
trouble.
Big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. So we didn't do that this time. Cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. If I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online. I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film. It's no longer 1930s.
Which, by the way, it's hilarious because there's multiple pictures of her dressed up as Snow White at different ages. So clearly, like it's not exactly that traumatizing if you're dressed up different times. But again, whatever.
7, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be.
You see, it's exactly what Cassie's saying, man. This fucking girl.
Hey
just
man,
just
look,
sneaks in.
She is a
yeah,
snake,
she's
bro.
just like, hey man, look, this is gonna be a different Snow White, but hey, look, I'm gonna give it back to my homie on the side here. You know, let her talk. It's like,
Rachel
what's
is
she doing?
pissed that she kind of interrupted her. Look at Rachel.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, she is.
She's like,
mad.
this is about me. I am Snow White. You're just the evil queen.
We say for the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Girl
and the leader
boss.
that her late father told her that.
Yo,
she
how
was.
tall is Gal Gadot, man?
Very
More,
tall.
it's more like
She got-
how
she got
short
legs, bro.
Rachel Zegler is.
Yeah,
So
Gal
to,
Gadot
cor-
got legs.
to correct myself, she's actually Colombian and Polish.
There you go.
Wow.
All right. So
That's a weird combination.
Okay,
Gal
because
Gadot's 5'10".
Hispanics hate each other. That is a common thing.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
did they
Asians the
get
same way.
a Colombian to play a Puerto Rican in West Side Story? Damn it! This is why these pandering white liberal fucking losers need to stop pretending that they're giving, minorities, particularly Hispanics, what they want. No one asked for that shit, especially this untalented bitch that allowed a Russian woman to play a freaking Puerto Rican better than she did. Okay, please bring back Natalie Wood from the dead. She can play any Puerto Rican she wants. I don't care. She's a far better actress than pretty much everyone I've seen in the past 10 years. So
Let me get into my red pill bag for a second. This is
Oh,
like-
no. Shit.
Hold on. No,
He's
let me-
reaching
let
in.
me
He's
get
reaching in.
It's a deep bag, Rollo. I don't know if
Grab that
you're
Rolo Monty pill, please.
Let me get into this red pill bag. There's one of the things that I've heard in some of those red pill spaces that the first thing I heard was that
the problem with entertainers and rappers, rest in peace to the Godfather, one of the things that he said before he died is that his content wasn't necessarily for entertainers and rappers and such, because they grow differently. When you give a 21-year-old idiot $1 million, he's still a fucking 21-year-old idiot. He doesn't have the opportunity to grow as opposed to a 38-year-old man who got his money over time. He got to be humble. He went through adversity and all type of stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's why Kevin Samuels would say my content isn't for entertainers. He was 50 years old. He had to go through the struggle, as most of us do. And then one of the things that I also heard, I would also hear, and I would think about my own personal experience, is that, man, women with money turn out to be fucking bitches, bro. like fucking like they are evil motherfuckers.
They don't have culture.
They are
culture.
evil motherfuckers, especially if you're in a relationship with one. Like if you ever get into it, like me personally, I've never been in a relationship with a woman that out earned me, but I've known men who do, and it's pretty much like he might as well be a lap dog. And she might as well be a fucking slave master, because it's like, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're a moron. Get up and do something. It's like, bro, I'm working 80 hours a week, but you're not earning 6 figures though. And I kind of think about this when you think about these young women in Hollywood. Once they get that fame, those Instagram likes, the
because they don't
TikTok
have the right
videos,
education, and
they
also
are fucking,
the problem
listen
is
to how Rachel is talking. Like she's talking
like
to the
in the
reporters
60s,
and us.
it trace in the 60s, in the 70s, even in the 80s, you had hardcore acting teachers, like really tough acting coaches in Hollywood. They would not only educate it becoming a great actor, but they would also humble you. Like sometimes in a very severe way, also sometimes, of course, by overstepping the boundaries. And then, of course, they got into toxic behavior. But back in the days, you went through a certain, they were like really molding you. And also building a tough skin on top of your actual skin to survive Hollywood. Nowadays, it's all brainwashed, it's all softy, it's all accommodating, it's all tolerance.
It's all worship.
And so these actors, they are weak. Their character doesn't get enforced. Only their skill gets enforced. And this is the problem that we're seeing right now. As soon as they get released, they can handle it because they're not stable, because they didn't go through that hardmanship to kind of obtain their skills.
They're just parrots, basically, at the end of the day. That's all they do. All they can do is repeat really well. Some parrots sound like humans too, but they have they're animals. Ultimately, they can't think. Unlike before, where there were a lot of actors that really cared about the craft and being educated on whatever subject.
Back in the days, I was learning fencing. I was learning fucking ballet. We were going to Tai Chi schools and all sorts of physical education in order to like dancing, tap dancing, flamenco, standard dancing. Nowadays, it's like, here's your sides. I'm gonna teach you a couple of skills. It's all gonna be fine.
Atreus does bring up a good point, folks, and that's why women were not given the right to vote or work in Western civilization. That's why limitations existed, because
Cancel this man.
When you treat men and women equally,
he's already canceling
in an
himself.
equal workplace, the women naturally do better, especially when they do not give birth. That's why we had a traditional family structure, because under true equality, people like Cassie would really outdo all of us guys. So,
Well, Atreus brings up another great point, though, when he talks about, when you give an idiot $1 million and whatnot when they're real young. We saw that happen to Will Smith. Don't think of modern Will Smith, who sucks nowadays. Think about late 80s Will Smith, when he got famous for being a rapper, blew all of his money, basically went bankrupt, had to start from zero, became an actor. He learned to be humble. He had to climb back up after blowing all of his money and doing a bunch of idiot hip hop stuff. And then when he came back as an actor, he's like, I need to start doing things the smart way. And then we got the charismatic Will Smith that most of us know up until a couple of years ago.
Facts. Guys, let me just do the super chats real quick because we're at the hour mark. Let me go through them. We got Emily's views for 2 Canadians, says we love you. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate you.
Shout out
we
to
also
Emily.
got Super Kitty for 5, says happy 1 year Hypno. Love being a part of the Bigot Army. Thank you, Super Kitty. By the way, Super Kitty, I think, is one of the only 2 members who have Super Saiyan 3 badges, which means they've been a member for a year. So shout out to Super Kitty. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. It just happened. Yep. Warsmith Korath, a member for 11 months. He will transform into Super Saiyan 3 in 1 month. Nothing but love to the panel members, both old and new. Thank you, Warsmith, for all your support. We also got Wonky Man for 2. Says Gina should just fight Rachel to sort this out. That's gonna be a really short fight. I'm just throwing that out there. It's not going to be very long.
One face punch. That's it.
Literally. We got Subtle Deviancy for 5 says just 12 short months ago, Hypnotic helped load my riding lawnmower at Home Depot. He said he would use the cash to buy podcasting equipment. I kept my promise, sir. I kept my promise, and here we are.
Man is going
that's a real story?
No, it's not. I'm just fucking.
Oh, I was about to say, yo.
That man is going to haunt us. He is onto our asses.
Subtle Deviancy he just loves using his super chat feature. Let me tell you. What is this? Sortie trying. That's what I'm gonna say. 499 says even the CGI got worse in a lot of cases. I don't get it. Yeah, that's true. It's and that CGI got worse not only due to lack of talent, but also time crunch. Just impossible time crunch that they just can't keep up with. And the only way they can keep up with is by cutting corners. And the moment you cut corners, that's basically it. Things start to tear apart after that. And that's it. That's all I got right now. So let's continue. Oh, what's that?
I was saying.
Oh, you're coloring that? Dude, that looks badass.
Nice.
That's awesome, dude.
That's the Hypno Spider Ninja. I still don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
but that's awesome.
You got no idea. It's still a work in progress as to what your
Coach
identity
is showing off artwork. This is what Atreus will be like during his 6,000 celebration. Not finished yet, but it will be.
I like that.
I am genuinely scared. Genuinely scared of what goes on in
that. That is some voodoo drawing shit, man. Like
Ryan
that
is on a whole nother level of psycho.
Black is too precious a color for pens, so I use green.
Oh, so you actually think black is precious? That's interesting that you would admit that.
It is. It is when it costs more for the pens. Very
because they're worth more. You're just helping the case. I just hope you know that.
Yeah, you're just
Atreus was a black pen. I'd buy him.
Nobody uses white pens.
Whoa!
Wow.
Hey, no, throw that meme up now. Come on.
I do have a feeling that
you about to make me turn into fucking Eric Killmonger. Hey, listen, I will bring up the fucking cotton field and bring out my whip and see how you like it.
Stay down, boy.
You motherfuckers tend to bruise a whole lot more than I do.
This belt is browner than you are, Atreus.
Can't tan a hide that's already tan.
Ryan is just a different creature, man. Let me tell you, he is a different human being. I don't really know what he is. I don't know if he's human anymore. He's just a interesting gentleman. He's embracing his Russian heritage.
What's up with all these guys named Ryan? Why do they always tend to end up this way?
My creator name was supposed to be reality based, but
according to the chat, and I remember people saying this many times, they said if Ryan Cannell joined this stream that like the internet would explode because they think like I'm the most bigoted person in the world, and then they think he's the most bigoted person in the world. So it's just like an interesting combination. Yeah.
No.
And now we have Ryan who actually is the most bigoted person in the world. So it would just be a lot. It'd be a lot.
It's like it's like a black hole. So just like you can't even see the stream because light can't even escape a black hole. So like all of you together, it would just be like too much.
I'm almost positive Ryan is so white. Ryan Rogers is so white. We would see him in a black hole. Like his whiteness would escape. that's how bright he is. Like you thought his light was on this entire time. It was actually just his skin reflecting.
Yeah.
Are we talking about a black bonus hole? Is that what we're talking about?
Whoa! No. Where are you getting that from?
Definitely
not.
I honestly think Cassie's just low key crazy.
Cassie has come out as a lesbian.
Whoa,
Cassie.
So now be a lesbian.
Calling it a pause. Calling it a bonus hole is suddenly like it's out of style because I said it finally.
Only a woman can take a benign conversation where you say black hole and the first thing they fucking think of is a freaking bonus hole. What the fuck?
You're not really supposed to. Those who own bonus holes are not supposed to talk about the bonus holes.
But they do anyway.
Leona, I think, has a bonus hole.
I'll be getting mine soon.
Oh my god, no!
Why is this creature alive?
It never gets easier looking at. I'm sorry, Leon. It just never gets easy.
All I know is you're making a lot of straight women question their sexuality in the chat.
For sure. All the girls are like, you just look great.
It's like those broad
The amazing
shoulders
part
are
is I
just.
look better than Rachel Zegler. I don't know why they didn't cast me for Snow White.
All the chat is doing is proving that girls will lie to other girls just to make
Yeah.
themselves feel better.
Women
That's all.
watch the show?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, yes.
We have a fairly high percentage, believe it or not. It's weird.
Believe it or not,
Our
it's
percentage
Hold on,
actually
is
chat,
too much.
chat wants me to zoom in on Leona again. So you got 30 seconds to show your best side.
Show us your
No wonder
teeth,
your
man.
girlfriend left you.
Look at
Oh,
that.
Oh,
Oh my Jesus! Make it stop!
Oh no, I fucked up one of my pigtails. I need those for when the school kids fuck me after drag story.
Oh my God, bro.
You can't keep getting away with it.
Chad, it's your fault for this shit. You egged him on.
Damn you, man! Fuck you, Chad. That's
Bro, the chat is going nuts, bro.
Today we have an illustrious
Not
guest
Dylan
today.
Mulvaney.
Yo, they're saying stop being in denial, Trace. You know you like that. Damn.
Whoa.
Man.
We're just going all
Dr.
out.
Lee,
Okay.
you know what, Dr. Lee? You can go to hell, man.
Whoa, Bruce, what the heck?
Go to hell, man.
That's huge.
Whoa, Bruce.
If I was gonna
That's
dabble in
bigger
a
than a
tranny, it
tray
would
of
definitely
food.
be a
Oh.
man.
Yo, I think it's fair to say we're all burning in hell. so
What
we
the
will meet
fuck
each other
just
there.
happened?
Nah,
Yeah,
Dr.
Bruce,
Lee, if I
what
was
the
gonna
heck?
dabble in a tranny, it
Bruce.
would be, no.
Damn. son.
Bruce Banner, dude. Holy shit. God damn, bro.
said Hulk
Wow.
smash.
You did not have to do that.
Wow.
That could
But I
feed a dress for a
appreciate
whole
you.
year.
Dude, man.
I mean, listen, he said you didn't have to do that, but you can, you know what I'm saying? I got a channel.
Yo,
You wanna,
Travis,
always
Do that over there.
He always stay trying to get the super chats, bro. I swear
Hey,
to
look,
God.
You know,
Bruce,
my
look,
EBT card expired. I need it. Man. Oh, man.
Yo.
Bruce, look, you just
They-
know
matter
that
of
half
fact,
of the
no, let me stop lying. It didn't expire. These motherfuckers saw me on a goddamn stream with that white piece of shit down there below named Ryan. And so they revoked my fucking. They said, "No, we can't associate with blacks who associate with Nazis." So I was like,
There you, I'm British. He's the
Oh,
Nazi.
Bruce, listen, you're gonna get a cheer. Thank you, man. I wish I could do more, but I really, really appreciate you, man. That's crazy. Bruce Banner for
we
$200
can get Cassie
says,
to twerk. It'll be worth it.
"Nah,
Oh no,
can't do that to Cassie."
That's impossible to see.
Although
Cassie,
Cassie, I'm loving Cassie's shirt. I didn't even.
No.
Oh, Cassie, that shirt is awesome.
Hell yeah.
I'm loving
boy.
that shirt. That
Thank
shirt
you,
is
sir.
badass. All right, Bruce Banner for $200 says, you had to know this was coming from me. In return, just do what you do. It's important and never bend a knee. Congratulations, sir. There's one thing I could promise, and I think I said this in my first stream too. I'll never bend a knee, which is why I'm shocked we have been on this platform for a year. So again, hopefully,
He'll bend the knee if Leona pull up.
nah, you got me and Ryan confused, sir.
I think it's because we
He'll
got a
bend the knee
woman
for
on the
Leona.
stream.
No, I will not. No, I
Like,
will
Liana
not.
will bend the knee for them.
Oh,
Oh, you had to hit with the
This
them. I like that. The them. That was good. That was good.
Are you
Bruce.
still monetized right now, Hypno?
No, we've been yellow the entire
It's
time.
over. Like
I was
you,
wondering if maybe this would save it, you know?
like
Not at
the
all.
moment you showed the dress, it was over. Like just to be honest, like it was already over by then. Like
Oh, yeah.
everything else was just supplemental.
Big time over. I guess I might as well do the rest while we're. Did we get more? Hold on. Yeah, we did. Subtle Deviancy again. Here we go. For 5 says, who shows more cleavage, Coach MC or Sigourney Weaver in Galaxy Quest? Wow.
Subtle,
Nice.
this motherfucker is going after everyone. He's trying to get
Subtle
like
Deviancy is a gangster, man. I'm telling you.
No,
There's a
It's
reason
crazy
why
'cause
he's subtle deviancy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
crazy
they're
because
like-
the one female on the panel shows the least amount of cleavage than all of us. I done came here with the white beater on. You got
Fucking
the drug lord. The drug lord Coach MC is down there. You got Ryan is showing up with his shirt off more than once. Like it's ridiculous.
Ryan has
Like,
shown up in a robe, which is really disturbing. I remember that.
a bathrobe.
Also, General Vague, a member for 5 months. Shout out to General, man. Thank you for the support. Congrats on 1 year Hypnotic. Let's go year 2. Only just getting started. I agree, man. Sky's the limit. Sky is the limit.
Yo, your boy T-Gap dropped some membership, bro. Like,
Oh, I didn't even see it because StreamYards doesn't show me. Yo, T-Jab, bro, I just saw that.
And 10 gifted memberships. What a
T-Jab
beast,
Steve
man.
dropped 10 gifted hypnotic memberships. Thank you, T-Jab. I appreciate you, man, so much. I wish I could highlight it, but StreamYard sucks. But thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Last but not least, we got Justin and Consola for $4.99. Why do all the new actresses in Hollywood all look the same? Looking like tadpoles. Holy
Oh,
shit.
I know why. Because Hollywood does not like a well-ratioed hip ass to titty ratio. I'm sorry, bro. They
They all
just don't
came
like
from the
that
same
shit.
island.
They don't.
Hey,
they
what?
don't like anything or anyone that looks too feminine. That's like
That's right.
This is why we see the April O'Neil creation and all that stuff. They hate women that actually look halfway decent.
Yeah,
And then we got
and all
Emily's
the-
views really quick for 2. Hypnotoad Heart, thank you. Says love you all. Thank you, Emily, again for the
We love
super
you
chat.
too, Emily.
Much appreciated. You guys have rocked, man. The support has been amazing tonight. Thank you guys again for everything that you do.
Emily is the best. Like every single video I drop, she leaves like 3 or 4 comments as she's watching it, and it's a daily thing. She's amazing.
Do you guys have Rocky the Black Dragon on your comments?
Oh yeah,
Yes. Oh, he is crazy.
Mad lad.
Rocky will
come on,
drop
man.
10 comments, 3 of which get censored. Like he'll just be like, "Fuck this! I'm mad. I'm ready to go. I'm about to explode. Let's do this." And they're all separate comments, and I'm like, "Bro, Rocky, you're the best."
Your comments tab that apparently needs your permission before it's posted. You go
Yes.
and be like, oh, right. And then there'll be several from Rocky. Like, oh, fuck,
One of them from Rocky.
Rocky's a beast, man. He's always there and ready to rock. That's what it is.
Yeah, man.
Rocky, man, come on, dude. I'm here.
guys,
I need the shade.
Sorry, Cassie. go ahead.
Real talk though, man. It's one of those things where if y'all just being here, it really does help. It helps creators that are willing to say the things that most of these people that are just willing to fall in line, they won't say. They will bend the knee instantaneously. And you guys being here, showing support in any way you can for all of us, it does help. It helps us be like, man, there's something worth fighting for here. It's something worth it to represent the message of we will not cave to bullshit. And really any support, just being here talking with us, or even just listening to us even after the fact, that's what is important, guys, for real.
I agree. Also, keep in mind too, we've been doing the same thing since episode 1. The same thing. I've been doing the same thing since episode 1. The panel, once they joined on episode 3, have been doing the same. Like it's nothing has changed. Like we've all been doing the same exact thing. We've been saying the same thing.
anymore.
Well, yeah, because it was killing me, Ryan. All right, it was killing me. Okay, I know you enjoy the idea of Latinos dying, but I wanted to stay alive.
No, you're European.
No, I'm not. Anyway,
This man, some people, you get most people, they're just like, oh, I don't like your race. This man, it's like, nah, man, you belong to my race. Come over, boy.
Hold on, wait a minute. Cotton picking minute.
Oh,
Boxbuster.
what?
Are you sure Boxbuster is YouTube appropriate, sir?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
wrong with that?
busting boxes. He's not busting in boxes.
Let's be real. The only
Man.
person
If
busting
you want to
boxes
bust in
here
a
is
box.
me.
Oh my god.
Gay.
Does Atreus speak from experience in regards to this?
I would hope that everybody could speak from it when it comes to box busting. I would
All
hope
right.
that all of you. Apparently, we found the
No,
incel.
it's Treyas. No, Treyas. I don't think
My goodness.
most of us have gone to a warehouse and just busted in a box and then just called it a day.
And
Okay.
the only box
Wow.
busting I know of is hitbox busting in
Atreus is
video
a
games.
box
Okay?
sexual
Fighting
for-
games.
Let me shout out the super chat, man. Mad Hatter 1776 for $52, man. That's awesome, too. Thank you so much. Says not quite banner money. However, keep it up. Here's to another year, dude. Anything helps, even $1, bro. That's amazing. I really, really appreciate it. I'm gonna give you a cheer, my friend. Another longtime supporter. Thank you guys so much.
From my end, your clap sound sounds like it's epileptic, Hypno. I don't know why. Maybe it's a
Because you have speakers from like 15 years ago that you're still utilizing as modern technology in front of your 12-inch
European.
fucking TV.
You know, the ones with the old ass plastic knobs were super heavy.
Seriously.
You'd be surprised how much better those old sound systems actually
way,
are.
No,
Like,
you're
really
right, though.
old
They're
plastic
true.
shit.
durable.
It's
Yeah, they were
true, but
made
we
to
still got to
durable.
roast Ryan anyway. Subtle Deviancy for 5 says one time at summer bigot camp. Here we go.
Oh, no.
We expunged everyone that could discern Koreans from Japanese and Chinese from Vietnamese and Malaysians from Taiwan. That sounds like something that we would actually do, sir.
Yeah, that does
Shout out to
sound-
Subtle Deviancy.
Wow.
We
Yeah,
also got
this-
Alex versus Evil, one of the most consistent viewers ever. I see him in everybody's streams, bro. So the support is crazy. Says congratulations, Hypno member for 5 months. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. And yeah, okay, good. We're all caught up. Let's get into the next topic, ladies and gentlemen. We did super chats for a lot longer than we normally do, but we got to show the love because the love is out there. Let's talk about, of course, what's going on with the actors and writer strikes. So we're going to touch on it again because apparently now they have gone back into negotiations after being away from negotiations for, I think, a little over a week or 2 weeks or something like that. Last time they've been trying to do this over and over and over, and they keep failing. And honestly, I see a lot of people talking about the fact that the writer strike and the actor strike is showcasing, and I've said this too, it's showcasing that people just don't actually care. You know what I mean? If something like this had happened before the day of the independent creator, I think people would have cared. I think it actually would have been a really big story. But honestly, they're trying to spin this story as if it's huge, but nobody really genuinely cares. I don't see anybody crying over the fact that XYZ movie is delayed or XYZ show is delayed. People just don't care. And I really think that this is going to.
Dude, I got into a Twitter war the other day with a couple of tranny bitches that literally were so pissed off that I was pro AI.
I said people, not creatures. That's the thing. Like, people don't care. Creatures may
They
care.
are not
but
human. They are transhuman.
People don't care.
Yeah, I made this post. I was pro AI, and they just threw a fit about this is why the writers are on strike is people like you. And I was like, yeah, and what they've been putting out sucks, dude. This is 3 or 4 days ago. There's still people comment on it, like going to war. Like, there are some freaks out there who do for some reason think the writers deserve more money or whatever because they haven't been paying attention for the last decade.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the studios are also happy that they have some time to think because they need to make some, they need to do some thinking, right? Whether or not there is like a hidden agenda or something like a big plan moving all their actions, they still have to kind of figure out a way out of this. I mean, they want to implement AI, that's for sure. They want to make it even slimmer. The production mode will change. The whole face of the production process will change for sure. I mean, we're seeing this already. Like, the course of the last 10 years, also due to the pandemic, jobs have been cut massively. And so this reshaping is going on for a while now. And I think they're really happy that they can take that time out, respectively also the actors. Because, I mean, I know it from my fellow colleagues. There is not really a plan. They don't really know what to do. They know exactly that technology is there and that Hollywood plans to kind of restructure their business model. So they have to wait, basically, what happens, what they propose.
And I do find it interesting that this particular genre or this particular field of work is the one field of work where apparently automation is not allowed, because every other field of work, automation is heavily encouraged. And especially like in the food business, cashiers are starting to disappear from supermarkets and whatnot, retail. Like, every automation is taken over damn near almost everything else. But this is the one where they're like, no, we can't do this. Our jobs are important. Like, we can't be replaced by AI. We can't be replaced by anything automated. You guys have to respect us. We are Hollywood. We're writers. We're this, we're that. And I think, again, it's from a level of narcissism. I think these people genuinely live in echo chambers where when they go to work, they're surrounded by people that they all tell each other how awesome they are. They all tell each other how great their ideology is. Nobody disagrees. Right? Nobody ever has any actual real discussion. So after a while, they start thinking to themselves that, yeah, I'm super important. Like, we're doing the best job. All of our shows are just smash hits. If you really look at these writers, they will all say on their Twitters, they will all say that every single show they ever wrote was a smash hit. and they'll link you some bullshit fucking number one. You know, like every movie comes out, the number one movie in the US.
They spin it as if there was a
They'll link you that
Yeah.
bullshit poster that they always make. Number one movie in the US, biggest release. That like it's all bullshit. Like you cannot keep making smash hits, and if you keep thinking that you are making smash hits and you have no failures, you're a narcissist, bro. Like you're obviously in an echo chamber. Nobody's telling you anything different. And so when they get online and they hear the backlash about, you know, these TV shows like She-Hulk and whatnot, or Rings of Power, all of a sudden, oh no, they're just bigots, they're just racist, they're just whatever. They'll make up something to just not have accountability. And it really, I think accountability is the one thing they are completely allergic to in the writer's room in Hollywood and whatnot.
Yeah, I think they're creating these products, like Rolo said, on purpose, so they can also drive the controversy. So they have both, you know, cups of the balance in their hands, and they're controlling the game. It's perfect. They write bad movies. They, you know, have a bad impact, but they also control the media outbursts, the outcome, everything that is happening afterwards. So they always in the talk, acknowledgement, awareness, attention, information. It always revolves around them. So they keep their status quo. Money is a funny concept to these companies, and also the idea of money with the introduction of later technologies also has changed. And for these companies, making that revenue at the box office is not as relevant as it used to be like 15 years ago. And that will change even further.
Oh, you think it's because of the way? Are you basically? I think I heard somebody say this a while, and I think it was maybe Prime, but he said in the chat like a couple of hours ago that their objective is really to get like as much money as they can out of the digital distribution sales and the streaming sales, I assume, like post movie release, like when it actually comes out. So that, I don't know, do you think that's actually true?
Yeah,
like that's their main line objective?
Look, the way they make money now, it's by automating everything. The digital distribution doesn't require any human workforce anymore. So you produce a movie that can still cost a lot of money. The workforce is enormous, but the way you distribute it afterwards, you implement it into the stream, in a way will make you way more money. You don't have to take care of insurance for the movie theaters. You don't have to take care of insurance for any risk management. You don't have to take care for, you know what the insurance costs and the supplemental costs are of running theaters and having like that human physical distribution. Now, AI can do everything. The bots can do everything. They can even do the advertising. They can even, create the videos, the reels for them. They don't need human workforce anymore.
Make money by cutting costs rather than increasing.
But the thing is, why is that a problem now? That's why I consider it to be a bit hypocritical. It hasn't been a problem for the last 10 years plus as this has been happening. So, Rolo, what are you going to say? I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's because it's because it wasn't affecting them, like you said before. That in the past, other industries have been decimated by automation, whether it's robotics in factories or just refining processes, things like that, or even just using computers to find where certain costs can be cut, in a system or in logistics or things like that. So this has finally hit Hollywood, and it's funny that Terry Matalas was the showrunner of Picard season 3, and it's funny that somebody that actually took a show which was total garbage was able to make a final season that turned into like a tribute for the characters in the series itself. He was on a Star Trek podcast, and he was going into how AI is going to change things and how it'll eventually, an AI will be able to, create a show, and you'll have maybe 2 or 3 writers that, will look over whatever script that the AI produces and make sure it's consistent, that it works, and, the characters make sense in that regard. But, as he was discussing it, he was like, man, I'm really making AI sound good. And that's not really the intention because the writer's strike. And I was like, maybe you do mean this because you actually understood why your show was bad. You were able to fix something, you salvaged what you could. You only had one season. Like, how much can you do? But it turned into something that was like, okay, clearly this is somebody that cared about Star Trek, and they came out with something decent with what they could. And it was a good tribute to the characters, and it made up for some of the mistakes they made. Like, there's very few pieces of media that we've seen recently that have tried to do something like that. Like, it's not like episode 9 came out and tried to say, okay, look, 7 and 8 were total shit, but we're going to try to make up for it here. And then you'd be like, okay, well, this guy was trying to make up for it, but he couldn't do anything. He only had a third of the story, but I digress.
No,
That's
but
it's just funny. It's funny, that's where we are, where it's the waves in a pond.
The funny thing is, like, in the 2010, 11, 12, people already were saying this, and they were called fascists, like, oh, you're conspiracy theorists and whatnot. People were saying this, like, early also in the year 2000s, like, hey, why do the governments do not inform their citizens about the groundbreaking revolution that is going to happen in every sector of work and life, because automation is going to, and this is when actually, like, this type of automation that we're seeing now is just a product of what was released in the early 2000s, and nobody was talking about this. And now we got it, and now we see it, like, oh, now we have to take care of the problem. It was obfuscated all the time. So people in the digital market, whether it's finance, whether it's post-production, whether it's entertainment, whether it's like 3D objects, you can create pretty much everything with about a computer right now. And so,
I do have an opinion
AI is-
regarding some of that, but go ahead, Leon.
AI, what people need to understand, AI is a good thing. First of all, what we have is not actually really AI. People need to, I get that's like kind of a colloquial catch-all term, but what we have right now is not even really AI. But even if it was, AI as it currently stands is a good thing. I'm tired of people talking about like it's a negative thing, because AI is, at the end of the day, is just a tool. The typewriters didn't put the pencil companies out of fucking business. It's that simple.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, with the whole, at least for the finance stuff, because I work in a very well-known firm in that finance industry, in the investment, in like the broker-dealer business anyway. This firm, the reason why I believe the automation part does not work with those with those what's it called, with those AI systems, is because at least the one that I worked at, they tried years ago to automate a certain form of processing through their systems that, if it had succeeded, it would have put a lot of people in the job position that I'm currently in before I came in completely out of employment. However, that did not happen because when they tried to implement the new system,
I'm sorry. That's
shit.
just, I gotta pause that.
Pause.
All right, continue. Continue.
All right.
Leona is just a fucking whore.
Oh Lord. Okay. But basically, the reason why it couldn't work is because that company, and I'm quite sure a lot of these finance companies have the same problem, like BlackRock and Morgan Stanley and all these others. They are the people in charge in the high positions are usually very old people that, while they want to try out innovation, unfortunately, when that innovation comes in their doorstep and people tell them how it works, they immediately get all nervous and they say, like they say, no, I don't want to do that anymore. It's not working. We're not going to give you any more money to try this out because we're using really old systems. Like, like one of the main things that we use in order to do like what we do, like day-to-day tasks,
all right,
we have to do like open it in Microsoft Edge and then put Windows Internet Explorer backwards compatibility. That's like old ass shit. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I have this doubt that it'll, like with Hollywood, that it'll be just immediate. Like, it's gonna take some time for that to even happen. A lot of the old guard are gonna have to die off before those kinds of vast changes get implemented.
But does Atreus know what AI is? Just asking. It's a very unique technology, Atreus. I don't think it's very groundbreaking.
If Atreus doesn't know what AI is, you definitely can't afford AI, because we know you're poor. So either or, you're both going down. You're both going down one way or another. I do think though, like Atreus and Ryan is like a yin yang battle. It's just it'll end in both sides being destroyed.
Yeah. Which one's the black one between yin and yang? It's whichever one's the black one is the one that Ryan needs to be.
Well, Ryan's actually appropriating culture wearing black, apparently. So.
I will say, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome AI. I welcome the battle droids that we'll need to mass produce, to defeat Atreus's people, to save the European world. Yes, so more battle droids, the better.
Roger. Just want to close your borders. You need to fix your goddamn. Hey, listen. I hope they come in there, and I hope they take everything you got, Ryan. I really do. Your news.
Not much.
I hope
Not
they
much.
shove. I hope they shove cotton swabs up your asshole, fool. I hope they do. I hope they pick the cotton right off the fields and shove it right up your pale ass asshole, fool.
I'm gonna have to develop.
And they're gonna call
tougher
it
versions.
They're gonna
Black
call it
super
cuck
battle
breaking.
droids.
They're gonna call it cuck breaking, not buck breaking. It's gonna be called cuck breaking, because Lord knows.
My goodness, Atreus, keep your sex
All
life
this
to
needs to happen
yourself.
the day after you install air conditioning.
That's the thing, I
Atreus,
think
it
Ryan
makes
is
me
genuinely
hornier.
angry because he doesn't have air conditioning. Most Europeans. do.
Yeah.
And that drawing's coming out good, coach.
Hey.
Yeah, it's coming out
Yeah.
real good,
Why is
bro.
my leg so high?
Why is he doing a sex pose?
You're in
I
the
can't
dick
flex
right.
like
Why
that,
is
man.
he so
Damn.
exposed?
Oh, yeah, weird. You guys think of anything else in your life?
Bro,
not at all.
that shit was obvious.
Oh my god.
That's his best
Put
piece
that
of work.
the
He's so
fuck
excited
down.
about it.
He's proud of
Please
it.
put it the fuck down.
Looks
This is
Really proud of
Atreus.
that.
in his
That looks
next
like
stream.
that looks like a puppet
Oh,
Jeff Dunham
shit.
would make for one of his shows.
But to piggyback on what do you call it? What Slayer said. So, but the thing is, I don't know. Again, I think it's hypocritical. I do, because the fact that they are so worried that they're going to be losing their jobs or they're not going to have as many opportunities, I think it's a little ridiculous, because these are the same people that were perfectly fine with everybody else losing their jobs. And if you don't even want to talk about automation taking over other avenues of work or whatever, you could just ignore that and talk about what happened during the lockdowns. These are the same people that were like, oh yeah, we're essential, but you got to stay home. You lose your job, you can't support your family. That's your problem. You know what I'm saying? They fully supported it. They were okay with it. So I don't feel bad for these people losing their jobs. I don't feel bad that these subpar writers that have no faith in their own skills are scared that a computer is going to beat them. I cannot feel bad for them.
It goes back even further than that. I mean, these are the same motherfuckers that were all for like the whole learn to code thing. At the end of the day, everyone knows that all you people in Hollywood really do care about is yourselves. And this excludes like the small, little workers that obviously, they do a lot of the things that behind the scenes that are integral to that are the unsung heroes really of Hollywood. But like excluding them, the reality is they don't give a fuck. A lot of these writers, actors, if anything, they've proven time and time again that they hate us. They genuinely do. And it's weird because I remember a time where there were actors in Hollywood that did appreciate the working class to some extent. And that, those times are long gone. I think that nobody should worry about this because at some point we're going to be fighting for our own reason to exist in the state of working. That's really what it boils down to. And I think that I don't care about you guys. Go get a real job, while we fight for the real jobs, because, they're coming for our jobs next, sooner or later. All these mega corporations they've already been working on it. They've already eliminated a multitude of jobs that, regular people have held. And, it's problematic. It's not going to stop. Yeah, it's not going to stop. And that's more important to me, not some asshole that plays pretend on a screen.
But I do think this strike is going to lead to the rise of the independent creator, though. The independent creator has already been on the rise for quite a while now, and it's becoming even more evident. We said this on the last stream, how the fact that Kai Cenat could bring such a massive crowd, and he is no like regular celebrity by standard definition anyway. He's no regular celebrity, but he brings a crowd that's bigger than almost any other celebrity that I can think of in recent year anyway. I mean, obviously there was somebody, I didn't get to show it last stream. I got to find it. I'll look for it, but somebody posted on Twitter under it was a Kai Cenat thread, and somebody posted how they were kind of linking other celebrities that were older, like Michael Jackson, I think was one of them. And the crowd they were able to foster. And there was one particular video where they showed Michael Jackson in New York with an organized crowd, completely organized, but it was massive. It was like, I had to be at least like 10,000 people probably. It was crazy, but they tried to use that and say, oh, look, you can do something organized. But the point is that Now, no standard definition celebrity has that level of pull, but I can name multiple different independent creators, or what you would call independent creators, that can pull audiences and crowds much bigger than most celebrities, in my opinion. Like, if you had a celebrity, real quick, if you had a celebrity, you guys can all, I'm sure you can name certain celebrities that would pull a crowd, but most celebrities, if they were to announce that they're going to be at XYZ place for a book signing, whatever, I just don't know if they can pull the same level of people that some of the upper echelon independent creators can pull, in my opinion.
I can't wait for Atreus's gathering, because that'll be one wild ride. Yeah.
No,
probably have
you
more
were
than
saying
Ryan.
that independent creators, are the future, but guess what independent creators aren't doing? Bitching about AI. But guess what? There's AI creators out there. If AI was actually such a problem, then you would think the independent creators, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, whatever, would also be throwing a fit about it. We're not.
We never do.
What I was
Rolo
gonna
drunk
say
3PO
is-
is messing with you, by the way.
Yeah, he's been asking this a lot in chat,
Don't
man.
you
He's
have
really
a bad
concerned.
trip over drunk?
That's how Jay is.
What I was
He's
gonna
always
say was-
concerned about your resting face.
The reason why the independent creators and the streamers are bigger than the Hollywood stars nowadays is because, one, they're a lot more transparent and they relate to their audience.
No pun intended.
Watching,
I will never be trans, Atreus. That is a great insult.
That's what I was waiting for. Go ahead, Atreus. Atreus can't handle it.
What? Oh, God.
Don't
what
you have
you
a
said
city to
trans-
burn,
anyway,
Atreus?
So that's that hard. Got to be projecting, honey.
Anyway, yeah. So like, what the fuck is going on, man? What the fuck? But yeah, you're literally watching somebody like Kai Cenat's entire life play out, and these are like, it's literally like hanging out with. I think a lot of these people in the in the chat section, in the comments, it's really like hanging out with people, but from a distance. Like, one of the things that I didn't know was when I started kicking it with Jessica Reloaded and them, like, they literally go on streams and they just play games together, and I'm like, this is no different than hanging out on a green box like we used to do back in the day and playing spades and stuff like that. And people are like literally doing that online now. And so it's like, who gives a fuck about a Rachel Zegler other than these pronoun wearing motherfuckers on Twitter? Nobody gives a shit about them because you create this fantasy. That's literally your job. You create this fantasy for us, and then you fucking break it when you open your mouth in these interviews. I mean, like, I can't even look at Mark Ruffalo and the Hulk the same. All I see is a straight pussy every time he's on the stream. Even before he started,
he's always been a pussy. I don't know how.
but like, I
didn't
didn't know that. I didn't know that until I seen them literally bitch
you never
out
see
Hulk.
13 going on 30. Homeboy's always been a fucking pussy.
No, but like even before I started paying attention to somebody like Mark Ruffalo and his political views, they bitched out Hulk on screen because, toxic green male. And then he started opening his mouth, and I'm like, dude, just recast this guy already. And then, like, the more egregious thing, Tom fucking Holland. I can't take him seriously.
Oh my God, yes.
He's taking back shots on TV show. I can't take it seriously anymore. And so, like, now
like what? 32 going on 12.
Yeah, so like, it's hard to take the Hollywood stars seriously anymore because eventually they're gonna open their mouth and do something that is like, I can't take. Like, I don't want to see The Rock taking back shots from nobody on any show. I don't want to see him give. I don't even.
Damn, terrible image, man.
Why'd you give us that image, man? What the fuck?
That's some weird sexual
I'm just
fantasy.
saying, like, the
He's got-
downside of being a Hollywood star is you have to remain. Like, somebody brought up the fact that the girl in the first Exorcist movie never got another role again after that, and it's kind of like, I mean, I get it. It's like the down part of being an actor.
Well, I think it traumatized her when that happened. Also, like when they made her do all those scenes.
They
as a
only
child.
fractured her fucking back on set.
Yeah.
Well, then
How
there's that.
Stanley
But
Kubrick
there's a
was.
reason why. There's a reason why streamers like it. Like, I was just, that video I did reacting to Breakfast Club getting cooked again. Right? There used to be a time where the Breakfast Club was like the biggest draw in New York. Right? Well, right now, if you are an artist and you go to New York, if Kai Cenat calls you and say, "Hey, come through for a stream," or the Breakfast Club calls you, which one you going to? You're not going to the fucking Breakfast Club. You're going to kick it with Kai Cenat. Did you just see what he did to the streets of New York?
No,
and that was again an unplanned. Like, it's just crazy shit, man.
Everyone keeps talking about the Breakfast Club. Like, it's not just a trace. I've seen a bunch of people in the last couple of weeks bring them up. And I don't know who the fuck the Breakfast Club is. To me, that's just a good movie from the 80s. Apparently, is it like a streaming group or something?
a black show.
No,
At this point, man, actors.
It's not just a black.
Rolo, you owe
Actors
Jay
really-
$2, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
you
owe
owe
Jay
you owe money, man.
$2. What do I owe him $2 for?
I don't know.
Look,
but he's
don't
gonna do it.
ask. Just give him the money. Just give him the money, or you're gonna end up like Winnie the Pooh, bro. Okay, just take our warning seriously, bro. He is vicious when he doesn't get his money owed. Okay.
No, I'm careful around Jay. Believe me, I got to be careful with him anytime because you never know. Like Jay's a big guy, but he acts like he's he's a nice teddy bear, but you never know.
So he's
That's
like Gal
Canadian
Gadot, is
bear.
what you're saying in terms of personality.
No, he's like Canadian bear. There's a little bit of a, he's like, oh hey man, how are you doing? And it's like, no, you never know what he's gonna do. So I'm always careful with him. You got to wear shin guards and things like that. You have to have cat-like reflexes because Jay's always gonna try to trip you. You never know.
What were you saying, Cassie? You're saying something.
I was saying at this point, actors, they don't earn my respect. If I do happen to like one, I have to wait until they're
like
dead
me.
for me to say I'm a fan of them. That's pretty much
Well,
how
what
it
about
works.
Coach?
All of the actors that I'm a fan of are just sadly happen to be dead, but that's the line I draw. So that way you can't say any fucking woke shit.
Do you guys think? I have an interesting question. Do you
See, Coach, you have to die to be a to be beloved. by
Bro,
Cassie.
She is just going
back
like
from the
all-
dead just so we can post on Twitter. Be like,
yeah, she's just like all these actors suck.
I have an interesting question for you guys. So many people do not like Hollywood celebrities right now because of what they say online, right? So what they say on Twitter, what they say in interviews, whatever, social media. It's readily available. Social media has allowed everybody to have a voice, or in this case, PR teams to utilize celebrity accounts to push whatever they want to push. Do you think that your favorite actors that you love now, do you think you would have loved them if social media existed when they were around in their prime?
Probably not the way
No.
you would have appreciated back then. No, the magic would have been gone.
Right now, I'm a Michael B. Jordan guy. I don't. He's smart. He stays off the internet. Besides where he cucked and went for old girl Lori Harvey. Outside of that,
Damn.
he earned his name back because I was calling him Michael B. Goofy for a while.
Right.
But after other than that, I like Idris Elba. I'm really, I'm loving. There's a lot of people that I'm loving, but a lot of the people that I like.
Just say Stallone
Don't get me
and
wrong.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you're safe. Okay.
There are
I
actors that I
always
like, but
Mel
do I
Gibson
consider
fan.
myself a fan? No. Because
No, I am a
you
fan
never know
of-
what they're gonna say. I will say this: James Dean's my favorite actor of all time. But if he had access to social media, that motherfucker would have exposed how fucking weird he was.
Right.
I wouldn't have
Yeah,
gotten
Adam
into a
Sandler,
car with
I'm a
him,
massive
Cassie.
Adam Sandler fan. He's the same now as he was in the 1990s. He's always just been kind of a do his own thing type of individual. He doesn't say a bunch of dumb shit on social media. Like, if social media was around in the early 2000s, I still think Adam Sandler probably would just be on there being like, "Come check out my next new dumb fun movie."
Yeah, I think
Leon, your boobs are showing, by the way. Rolo, go ahead.
bro.
I think
Your
I think
pad's
some
swollen.
I think some people would be able to handle it. I think social media and how it's influenced things is still so new. I mean, it's been around for almost 20 years now, but that's still new in how it's evolved and how now we have full people who are adults that have had social media their entire life since the day they were born. So this is now the first time that's been existed for an entire generation. So we still don't know the impact that that's going to have because you can see that there's narcissism in a lot of people. There's the desire for more likes, and obviously the algorithm influences how people behave because it shows what content they get. It can hide the numbers that you're getting, so that makes you feel good or bad about how your content's doing, and it affects you emotionally. We've seen depression, things like that go a lot higher. So I think you throw that into any time period, it's going to fuck people up. Like they're not going to know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And some people, if they're cool, they're going to come, they're going to be true. I think we've seen, a lot of streamers that they seem pretty genuine. That's the appeal of this generation, that you see people for how they really are for the most part. Obviously there's people that lie. They do, they make scams, they do crazy shit and stunts for clicks. That's absolutely true. But for the most part, you feel like it's somebody talking from their house. Like they're shooting the shit with you from their house. That's how it is when you hang out with your friends. You go over to their house, you watch a movie, you talk about it afterwards, you order some pizza, you play some video games, you have some drinks. Like that's how it is. That's how it's always been. And that's the difference between how an actor is, who they're in the past, there were people that were larger than life because you could only see them in a special place. Like the cinema was almost like a religious experience in the sense that you go there, you only go there on occasion. It's a big deal. Back in the day, people used to get dressed to go to the movies. It was a really important, almost ritualistic thing. And now that's kind of deteriorated, and COVID exposed these people when they went on social media. They tried to do what we do here. And you're like, again, it's what I said earlier. Most of them now, they're not true artists of their craft. They're parrots. They just repeat what they need to say, and that's it.
Social media took away the mystique.
Yeah, it did.
And not just that. Here's the difference. A lot of my favorite actors of all time were fucking manic. James Dean was absolutely manic. Marlon, there's many detailed accounts of how fucking manic of a personality Marlon Brando is. The difference between people like that and these actors now is that these actors are a dime a dozen. Their talent is fucking worthless. They have nothing to contribute. They are easily replaceable. Even the directors, the writers, I'm willing to deal with Marlon Brando being as fucking manic as he was, because the dude was absolutely brilliant. And it showed, and honestly, he kind of honed his ability to be manic on the screen.
Back then, I mean, everybody knew how Brando was, or who Brando was. So the thing is that now you get to know it every day, every hour, every minute, every second, and that's the annoying part of it, because it's inflationary in our brain. If we hear a thing thousands of times, not only it becomes true and reality for us, but also it loses its fascination. It becomes like common knowledge. It's not full of novelty anymore. And so therefore,
actors were never trained in the social media landscape, so they don't know how to handle it.
Back in the days, you were trained to, have interviews, and they were trained differently. But there was always like a training for actors going on, especially with big budget production.
Not what Ryan I think is trying to say is not at the level that social media is on, where every time you go on a panel, to give your views or to just answer questions regarding a show. As soon as that recording goes out into the internet, people are going to be analyzing every single frame, every single second. Some will even go as far as to analyze every single word you say. And out of that, they will either make a very quick conclusion or a very lengthy, detailed conclusion. And that will determine whether or not they either like you as a performer, but also whether or not they will even go and watch the product that you are involved in.
Well,
and
none
that
of us were
is
trained to be content creators, to be streamers.
The networks nowadays, one of the problems we're also facing, why we're having this crisis and why we're experiencing this strike in Hollywood, is the reason that Hollywood now is in a very difficult position. The evolution of the digital medium has brought, of course, like a broadcasting system to every individual. So actors might also go and say, hey, I'm broadcasting every day. I'm making money every day. I don't need to wait for the studio network to hire me and get me to the trench of auditioning and of course accepting these very strange contracts with a lot of downsides, for me and a lot of upsides for them. So why not broadcast all on my own? Why not be self-sustained and self-fulfillment? So here we have the problem that the actor himself has become a brand, an individual that now represents a company and not only an actor anymore. And therefore it has taken a lot of magic away, because now you're more like an entrepreneur. Not that back in the days, don't get me wrong, like even in the 60s and the 70s, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a millionaire before like even shooting a movie for Hollywood, because he was a very clever businessman. People, back in the days, they were clever business people as well. But the way they were seeing acting was as a vocation. Simple as that. And that vocation brings like an incredible passion. And that passion turns, whether you like it or not, being an asshole or being a good guy, being a bitch or being a nice lady, whether you're one of those opposites, you still love it. You still love to do it. And when that happens, when you have that inner calling and you love to do it, whether you're not an asshole in private life, most of the times you're ready to kind of, disclose your inner truth in front of the camera, at least. And that would, bring magical entertainment.
I gotta admit, Coach, I just don't think they love it though anymore. I don't
No,
think
they don't. I mean,
there's really any actors that have that.
I have to put on the costume for 18 hours. It was terrible. 18 hours costume on my fucking screen. Look at my screen.
You sound like a very angry.
Miami came out.
Yeah.
He sounded like. No, I love it though.
But I do think it's ironic though that during COVID the actors did try to do the whole YouTube thing. Like Brie Larson's probably the biggest example. And even with all of YouTube support, because this fucking woman had YouTube on her side, her first video, YouTube put that shit on the top page, trending and everything. She didn't have to work for it like everybody else does, and she failed. She failed miserably.
And she only gained the support of many hundreds of thousands. A great example would be the Critical Drinker, who went from hundreds of subscribers in 2018, 2019, off the top of my head, to the support of well over 1 million subscribers as of the making of this live stream. A success story, if ever there was one. And a mainstream celebrity who was the star of supposedly a great Marvel film. Cannot gain the support of at least tens of millions of people. It's an absolute joke. No wonder that scrawny little famine-ridden beast is no longer a content creator. And random fact, folks, just one random fact. Rolo looks like a male version of Brittany Venti.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I just noticed it.
Damn, that's fucked up. I can kind of see it now.
Yes, I know.
What? Wait, Atreus and Ryan are agreeing? What the fuck is going on here?
Whoa! Wait a minute.
Rolo
What the fuck? He's actually not lying.
Rolo, I apologize for our clansmen.
I can't unsee it.
No,
I can't fucking unsee it.
I'm sharing my screen. Hold the fuck up. Hold on.
Come on.
Show it, Hypno.
Terrible.
What the fuck? He's not lying. Like when they're at their resting.
That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible.
Rolo,
I don't know who that's more terrible for.
Look, Rolo, what we're trying to say is if you ever like need like a freaking lifesaver, just go trance. Okay?
The chat is saying it's the eyes. The chat is saying it's the eyes.
It's definitely the eyes.
And make sure to tell your wife as soon as you transition that she's now a lesbian, okay? Just let her know that.
I'm sure she's listening. So
she is.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
That's
probably
crazy.
There she is. There
Rolo,
she goes.
She's like, no.
You would say that.
I heard that in the Darth Vader voice. Like, no. That's crazy shit.
No.
That's exactly
Terrible. It's terrible.
Reality based strikes
Oh,
again.
God.
Rolo, you mentioned
reality
earlier
based.
about like pizza and beer and whatnot. So I just gotta know where you stand with pineapple on pizza. Like that's my big burning question.
I don't do it. Unfortunately, my wife does. So it's
What?
like this constant
Wow.
All right, we need to get her wife on
That's it.
his wife on the show instead.
Wait, what do you wait? You like pineapple on pizza? Leona?
No, I don't. No.
No, he
No,
says
Leona.
that. Yeah, Leona does, of course.
There you go. Yeah.
Who else
what I
likes
do.
pineapple pizza on the stream?
Me, nigga. Goddamn.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, man. There you go.
That's that. Who else?
Good, the
Anybody
African
else?
is gone.
Anybody else
Oh,
like
no.
pineapple on pizza? Just want to make sure we okay.
Cassie
Their
does.
mistake was leaving me and Atreus in the green room alone together.
They're gonna stay on the. Wow.
Yo,
What the hell happened?
yo, don't put that on me.
So you're telling me you turned Atreus gay in the few
Pause.
seconds?
Bro, stop it, bro. Stop it.
Yeah, they're gonna be on the bottom, right where they like it. It's okay.
Damn.
Because if you like pineapple on pizza, I got news for you.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
So you're aware, ladies and gentlemen. If you like
Oh,
pineapple on
God.
pizza, it's a little rough out there for you.
It's the
Oh,
disease
Jesus
you're
Christ.
right.
Atreus, the African American, channeling his inner hero, Barack Hussein Obama.
Fucking hell, right?
Look what you made me do.
not
Atreus.
related.
I
Obama,
had to
Atreus.
put the Klansman on the top.
He
Did you vote
Ryan
for Obama
is
or Trump?
relentless. Like I've never seen a white man so like
Get it, Leona. You
unfazed.
vape. We get it.
I'm just tired of all you straight white men over here trying to keep us minorities down. We're an oppressed people. Me and Atreus here on the bottom right where you want us. I see how it is.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't know.
Why does he do that too perfectly? That is too fucked up.
God. Real quick, guys, let me do a super chat since we're going in the 2-hour mark, and then we'll continue. We got Kilted Cajun for 20, dude. Thank you so much. Just broke 1K subs. Congrats, man. And vowed to just be myself no matter what. Gotta be genuine. Love the chat. Love the panel. Never bend the knee. People will always sniff out the grifter. Absolutely. And I think that is honestly why Bud Light is in the situation they're in, because, you know, we say all the time that they've done woke shit before. All these companies have done woke shit before, but Dylan is that guy that everybody knows is just pretending. He's just grifting. And because they partnered with him, and specifically him, if they would have picked anyone else, I don't think it would have been as bad, but they picked him. And, you know, everybody knows they could sniff it out. He's a grifter.
You know what's crazy about like Bud Light? This is the most messed up thing ever. Like I was just leaving the grocery store, and out of nowhere in the parking lot, I just see this random ass empty Bud Light case just sitting there in the middle of the parking lot. No one has picked it up or anything. And so in my brain, I'm just going like, man, they really fucked up. Like, how bad was your marketing that people would rather like take out the fucking cans of piss beer and put them individually? Yeah, and put them individually in their car and take them home in secret.
It really wasn't like bad marketing. They did the same thing they always do. That's the thing. Like what they did was nothing different from what any other company ever does. But they picked. It's because they went with someone in particular. It's because they chose Dylan that everybody knows.
Hero, Dylan Mulvaney, my idol.
Atreus answer my Obama question.
You know what?
All right.
You got one more time, man.
Did you vote for Obama in 2008?
I will use the full force of my fucking black race card to get your channel removed.
Obama?
Thank you.
Nice.
Did I vote for that nigga? I think I might have.
You might have.
Really?
Guilty, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Sean Green, a member for 1 month, says, Hail, distinguished hypno panel. Hail, Rolo. Hail the 199. Great stream tonight, bigots. Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Subtle deviancy again. Here we go. 5. Ryan looks like a dyslexic pirate that can't avoid sinking on reefs. Wow. Ryan, how do you feel about that?
Who? Oh, the tranny demon. Oh, no.
No, you.
No. My goodness. Subtle deviant tranny demon.
Picasso, member for 5 months. Love you guys. I'm sorry I'm late. It's all good, Picasso. Much love. Thank you for stopping by.
Oh, God.
We also got Bruce Banner for 5. Says, I'm 50% black/Spanish. Business first. This is for the Klansmen. I have a white hood cleaning service. We even cut out the holes 50% off today only. There you go, Ryan.
Well, you know the saying, folks. Light, bright, sure ain't white. Carry on.
What the entire fuck is going on?
I don't know. We're reading super chats, and Ryan is just saying obscenities, and you're somehow egging him on, Andreas.
Hollywood will burn for 5. I love the name, by the way. Hollywood was okay with commoners losing their job during the fake sickness of 2020. Cruel irony. Commit yourselves to Christ. Look into Logos theology. That's what we were talking about before.
That's definitely got to be somebody from Bounding in the Comics. Is that you bounding in the comics?
Probably.
Speaking of bounding into comics, Atreus, that
Taylor
article
You're
was
going to
interesting.
hell.
Thanks, Ryan. Can't wait.
Trace is going to hell.
Well, I got enough melanin in my skin to survive it, sir. I'm like, yo,
damn.
But this is what we were talking about this earlier, though. We were saying how, you know, I can't feel bad about these people because they were fine with this. They were fine with telling people to stay home and be unemployed and not have money and have to think about how they're going to feed their families and somehow, some way be perfectly okay with a fucking stimulus check that was like $700 or something like that. And that's gonna hold you over for 3 months. It's just, I can't feel bad for people like that.
Hey, shout out to that Stimmy.
Yeah, well,
how black of you with that one?
African American. It's how African American of you. Right?
Came out like fucking butter, bro.
Billy Badass for 5. Love the profile picture always. Says Kai Sanat isn't an organic streamer though. He definitely has industry connections. Nobody has the kind of meteoric rise he has so fast. It isn't natural. You might be right. At the end of the
Nice
day, you might be
picture,
right.
Cassie. Nice frozen
hold on.
picture.
He got to explain that one to me. What industry connections?
I don't know the actual history of Kai Cenat, honestly. I'm not going to pretend like I do, but I'm just saying I would not be surprised, because
Well,
and
my
if you
whole
say
thing
industry connections, do you mean like at Twitch or do
He
you
gotta
like
be
YouTube?
Yeah, he gotta be talking about hip hop or something. Cause dude, I mean, like, cause I was asking the same question, like, where the fuck this dude come from? Cause again, a lot of people I did not know about until I started making content. All right. And so when I found Kai Cenat, I was shocked to find out he had been streaming for years, but I guess he had just blew up in 2022. So
it was
I mean,
odd. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did come out of nowhere.
Yeah, sometimes you just get that one big break though, and then it draws in mass appeal. Like he could definitely also be an industry plant or whatnot, but also he could be organic.
That Bobby Alhorf girl is definitely an industry plant. Her first podcast interview was with Drake.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
how's
I
that
know what you're
work?
talking about. That's crazy. Yeah.
Either she's an industry plant or he planted inside her. One of the two.
Bro, probably both.
Just
Probably
saying.
both.
Probably both.
How do you
Probably
think she got? How do you think she got it so easily, bro? No, fuck no.
true.
That shit. Really?
Woods is
Drake, your
desperate
first
to go
podcast
viral.
interview?
He's
Fuck
willing
no.
to dress up
It's
for it.
like Oliver Anthony. What's going on with his song right now? His song is being streamed by millions upon millions of people. He's getting $8 million record deals that he's denying. Like it's out of nowhere. He's just some fucking. But again, you can say he could be a plant though. You never know. You never really know unless you're actually in it.
Dude, fuck that song. Like I liked that song when I listened to it, but I'm getting like roasted in my comments for my video, on that song because I was like, yeah, it's a fine song. I don't get why everyone's loving it this much. It's fine. And bro, comments are not happy with my take on that fucking song.
I think people are liking it because it was seemingly sang from a place of genuine feeling.
But so
You know what I
is
mean?
every dude with an acoustic guitar out there. Like there's a million people out there with acoustic guitars that are writing music that's soulful that just don't blow up. Like this dude,
I felt
it's a
it when
good
he
song,
said
but it's not unique.
your dollar ain't shit. I felt it. He was like your
Yeah,
dollar
no,
ain't
I
shit.
totally
And it's
agree,
taxed to
yeah.
all hell. Like I really like you could feel like he was just fed up that day.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
I'm not denying the sincerity. I think the sincerity is completely there. I think he was very sincerely saying that song. All I'm saying is that this is not unique to music. There's a million, indie artists out there who, don't have a dollar, who are singing songs that are this impactful. And because they don't blow up, no one sees those songs. But what he's writing about isn't
Well, they need to
new.
get good.
It's not
Goddamn it, they
famous.
need to get good.
Well, the thing is, like Atreus, like, look, I'll give you a great example of an artist that used similar lyrics to like complain about our society from like recent memory. Avicii, for example, that song called "Wake Me Up." That song, if you read the lyrics, is a man who
He died.
He died. He was a very well-known DJ, but also he sang.
He's
he did
white
some of his
as well,
songs.
Atreus. No one.
Yeah,
knew
he was
that.
very popular back a couple years
In
ago.
2014.
But unfortunately, he self-deleted because he was heavily depressed and on drugs, and typical unfortunate path that some musicians take. And a lot of his songs, but especially the one called "Wake Me Up," he literally was just telling the world through his lyrics that he was fucking depressed. He was tired of living a lie, which was his entire life as a musician, because he could never really truly express himself, and how the system that was in place, that has been in place for so long, the one that we're complaining about right now in Hollywood and even in the music industry, was just making life harder for him, and that he couldn't really develop any genuine relationships. Like he was saying all of that in that song, and you know what people took away from that? Oh, a catchy, trendy song. Oh, I love this part. Oh, wake me up when it's all over. Like nobody gave a fuck about the lyrics. But then all of a sudden, a random dude on Twitter,
without even doing anything, just through sheer anxiety.
That's how
depression.
that's how viral, like that's how virality works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
But
it's
that's
not
because people give a shit about it now because things are going through the shitter. Here's the thing that people don't seem to understand. Like with this like Twitter video, people gave a crap about it and they blew it up to hell because the reason for it is because right now the morality, like when it comes to like social morality and such, nobody knows what the fuck to believe in. Everything is upside down. Okay. Everywhere in the world, everything is going to hell. So people are trying to find something they can hang on to that'll give them some sort of hope. And that don't mean any nugget of hope, including a video that basically affirms
what they already believe is happening. Okay, like
Kind of
that
been that
video.
way forever, though. Slayer.
Yeah.
Like people
I know,
only
but-
care
but-
about things until after, like until it's
know.
too late. You know what I'm saying?
But the
That's
thing
just
is,
how it
like
always
the thing, like Hypno, that's because a lot of people in this world are very emotionally immature. They are not well developed to handle the real world. Okay, most
People are
of us
stupid.
here,
Hmm.
yeah, basically, most of us on this panel, okay, have had to go through some rough path. Oh, fuck off! Hey, fuck off, you cunt. Anyway,
social media makes that worse, though. Social
Yeah,
media,
but-
like, and I've said this many times.
Exactly.
The more connected we are, the more everybody gets depressed.
But
weird.
that's the problem though, the depression, bro. Like there were times, like like when this whole thing was starting, where at one point I would get depressed over bullshit. Nowadays I don't, but that was when I was way much younger because I was still in high school and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know who I even was.
Okay, when you was younger, I was gonna say, man.
I said younger, bro. God damn it, you fucking ninja. Here, people speak.
Atreus
Goddamn.
has no sympathy
I'm
for
just
you.
saying, I
Dragon.
gotta be honest. I gotta be honest.
No,
I had
no,
this
no.
conversation with my audience, and I think you were there for that, Dragon. When it comes to the depression
one?
thing and the self deletion thing, I'd be like, man,
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all do it, man. Like,
No,
getting
like, I know.
depressed.
We
I
have a
can't-
conscience, Atreus.
Well, I mean, I'm not. That's like some people though, Atreus. Like not
I get,
everyone.
no, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
some people that are depressed all the time. I'm like, dude.
I'm gonna say one more thing on about this I'll rant that song, and then I'll shut up about it. But like, here's the dealio. The song. First of all, like I said, it's a fine song. It's an objectively fine song. It's written
Yeah,
in a
it's not
very
bad.
standard way of writing music. But people talking about how authentic and sincere he is. Every single one of us have put some similar statements on our Twitter feeds or whatever, or we said similar things in videos or podcasts like this. Adding 4 fucking chords to it doesn't make it automatically the greatest thing ever. He's saying Twitter statement with 4 chords.
I disagree.
Like that's what it is.
I disagree.
Again, one is a musician and the other one is a hood
start back
ninja.
our beef. We gotta start. I disagree
Look,
because
look, I don't know.
Hold on, let me hear. I want to hear what Rolo wants to say about this before, because
Well-
I have a feeling Atreus and fucking Leon are gonna go at it for.
Sometimes,
2
look,
hours.
sometimes you need to have the right message at the right time with the right things going on. And I think that that's what's going on here. Some things occur organically. There are a lot of things that have happened throughout history that seem small, that if you look in the context of things, that led to bigger things. And sometimes that's just the way that it is. And when you're in the moment of it, you can't. When you're in history, you don't know what's going on. Like you don't realize that if you're at the start or the end of something. So that's where we're at this stage. So yeah, there's a lot of us that say the same things. There's a lot of us that have been saying things for years, that have been awake to things that are going on and that are cognizant of it. But most people aren't. Why? Because society has worked for most people, for the most part, for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time.
And so as long as they go to the store, there's things they can buy. As long as they have a job, as long as, for the most part, they have things that entertain them, they're totally okay. They don't care. This is the most comfortable period in human history.
For
So
sure.
comparatively, like where we are, yes, we peaked out. We're now cognizant that things are getting worse than our parents' generations before, but
Well,
we're still so far ahead of so many other people.
I don't know if worse.
that
I mean,
now we're seeing it.
like on the graph, we are always growing. Of course, we have moments where we
Mhm.
fall back, where we have to retrace, recuperate, things happen, crises happen. But actually, I think we are on an evolving graph all the time. We're
It's a
never
learning period.
racing or regressing in a way that it's worse than it was like 100 years before. We say that in a way to make it sound more dramatic. And of course, we need to get, clear ahead what we love to do as a society, because the way we're running business, if you go to Asia or to Africa, they say, you European, you Western guys, you have so much care that you take about every day, and every day is like, life is life. And every day is like, you try to figure it out every day. And this is why you're always so depressed. And in a way, they're right. They're just-
I really. Oh, sorry. I thought you were finished, Coach. Go on.
I think that the fact that we are becoming so hectic that we don't see the long term anymore, that we can enjoy the process a little bit more. It's become one of those reasons we're always looking for a reason to be depressed or to be the victim or to kind of blame someone else, because hey, Otherwise, it would be just a luxury to fucking live in a more privileged way than some other people on this planet. But it's okay if you still try to do your very best. And if you're good with it, then go for it and enjoy the privilege instead of crying, instead of blaming.
Yeah, I want to address one particular commenter in the chat. So Jeff Gann, you don't have to like my opinion. That's totally fine. But he says you probably couldn't sing or play jack shit. And then he says no one on the panel probably has musical talents. I've been a musician for 15 years, and I owned my own booking and production company where I worked with bands like Smash Mouth, Creed, and Tantric. I know a thing or two about music. I had to give up music for
Struck a nerve.
time, but I've been playing music for 15 years and made a career out, or was attempting to make a career out of it before I had to give it up. Like I understand a thing or two about music. So before you assume no one on the panel has musical talent, I don't know what I call it.
Basically, you struck a nerve.
Look, you know, it's fine if you guys want to argue over this fucking song that I don't even know of. But I just think that everyone here should either get high or drunk and listen to Donna Summer. That's what I would prefer. You can't all have
I believe none of you should get high and drunk. Absolutely none of us should. No one. Temperance. Complete and utter temperance. No.
Before we move on,
at least he didn't turn down Donna Summer. I could appreciate that.
Before we go to the next subject, I just want to know why Atreus disagreed with Leona.
Because he's an African.
No, the real reason.
Wait,
the real reason.
That's
not the I'm just curious. I'm curious
about the comments on, because I think it takes talent to take a real world concept, put it into lyrics, and make it sound good. I think there, especially nowadays, where people are putting out a lot of musical garbage, where they're just repeating the same lyrics. Shake a little bit of ass. Hate a little bit of men. Shoot a couple of niggas up. It's no big deal. But when you get somebody who can actually sing and can actually play a actual instrument and can put lyrics that people can actually relate to, and they're thinking it and putting it into a song and making people. Not only making it relatable, but making it sound like something we can actually listen to. I think that takes talent. I mean, a lot of people.
I agree with all that. To be fair, Trey, it's like I think the dude is talented, and I'm not saying it's a bad song. I do like the song. What I'm saying is the song is not unique. I'm saying there's a million indie musicians that have got 3 subscribers on YouTube and they're posting their stuff to Twitter to no views. They're singing about and doing the same stuff. On people talking about how revolutionary it is and how refreshing and new it is. It's not refreshing and new. People just aren't actively seeking this stuff. This guy got real lucky. Good for him. He's got the talent. He deserves it. This blew up, and it's making it seem like this is new. But like there's been music like this, and there's been music like this for a long time. I think that it is a good song. I don't think it's an amazing song. I think it's a good song with a good message, but it's not unique. And I just want people to realize that, hey, there are musicians, artists, whatever out there that are doing this stuff, but not all of them get 25 million views on 10 days on YouTube. That doesn't mean he's unique. It just means he got noticed.
Well, also too, just a comment. Uniqueness is not a prerequisite for virality. It never is. So
it never.
That's like you can go viral on something that's completely not unique, that's been done a million times, but you just happen to be seen by the right outlet, the right person, the right whatever at the right time, and boom, like that's all it takes.
Yeah, and that's
so I agree. It may not be unique at all, but it was unique enough for a viral moment. That's basically
right.
To be honest with you, a lot of these other artists are probably, who knows, they're probably suppressed. Maybe this is the one song that just slipped through the cracks.
Probably.
Yeah, he's got like 4 songs. Because of this song, he's got like 4 songs in the top 10 right now, which is awesome. Like, as a musician, he is a talented musician. Like, I'm happy for the dude. I think that's great. It's just, people are looking at him like he's this lone army sort of thing, and unfortunately, that's not the case. Or fortunately, that's not the case. There are other people out there doing it. So, if you want to talk about how this is a big moment for this individual, just there are people out there who have been singing about this stuff, who've been writing about this sort of stuff. And I get why this song lyrically is impactful on a cultural level. But like, Hypno said, it took the right kind of people sharing it, the right kind of people seeing it. Jack Prozobic saw it, shared it. For every, view that this got, there's stuff out there that Jack Prozobic isn't seeing and sharing that is singing about the same sort of stuff.
Yeah, and also on
quick shout out. What's up, Casey?
What's up? I made it. It was like crazy today. I had to make it to the 1 year anniversary of the best thing that ever happens on Saturday nights. And I'm repping with my shirt. So
Oh, no, the best thing that happened on Saturday nights, I tend to get a little bit of bonus hole action, so I don't know about the best. I'm just-
Well,
I'm
of
just-
course, the black man would say this shit.
Casey, welcome,
Oh.
welcome to the stream. As always, happy to have you here.
Hey, welcome, really.
Thank you for rocking the shirt. We're actually talking about Oliver Anthony's song. I don't know how we got on it, but since I know you usually cover stuff like this, what's your take on it?
Yeah, so I did talk about it on the Bring the Asteroid channel, but I haven't made the video that I wanted to make. But there's like this compilation video that came out, and I'm pretty sure that y'all talked about it already, and I think it's great. First of all, I like his voice. I like folk music anyway. I used to live in Florida, like for my childhood years, so I kind of like that sound a little bit. But I mean, the song in the compilation, there's some men that are like kind of brought to tears because of the song, and I don't think that is because like, oh, the song is like this big maestro piece, like, oh my gosh, that's why it's so. I think it just makes you sit down and think, like, about.
You
I think
mean
a lot
like
of them
the
niggas was just flat out
like
dramatic.
like
I mean,
you
it
mean
was-
the wait?
Like,
I
ain't
mean,
no
yeah,
reason-
some people.
Like, dude was crying in front of his girl and shit. She's about 30 more days. She gonna leave. This nigga's crying. Like,
I mean, I don't think it was like all right, dig this, right? So I'm not really into a guy like crying every day. Like, all right, come on now. Like, we don't need to keep crying. But it's been a crazy 3 years, I think, for everybody. And some people don't even know what it is. Like, I meet random people who are like, something just doesn't feel right, or people are struggling. Like, the inflation is already just ridiculous, right? So that alone, like financial struggles. So sometimes you might hear somebody, you stop and you're listening to the lyrics, and then you go back and think about this really bad day that you had, and you're like, yo, man, I'm tired of doing this ish, right? I'm not saying everybody needs to boo-hoo all the time.
I got
Trust me.
goosebumps, but I ain't crying, nigga. Fuck
I
that.
mean, but you
I'm
didn't
still
cry,
like,
but
fuck
like,
outta
I'm not saying everybody's gonna cry.
And
I'm
it
just
was a
saying
black
I'm
dude.
not mad at the guys who did cry. Normally, I see what you
was a
saying.
black
Like, even
dude
the
who was
chicks who were
crying,
crying,
too.
who like felt some type of way, I was like,
And they didn't cry,
I get
though.
it. I know they didn't cry.
They didn't cry. It had to be a nigga.
It was a white man who cried. Too. It was like, here I go.
What a white man. I ain't see no white man cry on there.
It was a white man. who
Someone
cried.
got
Was
triggered.
it a tranny? Was it a tranny?
One of the comments I got that blew my mind was I got a comment that straight up said, "You're paying too much attention to the music. You need to hear what he's saying." And I'm like, "The fuck you mean I'm paying too much attention to the music? It's a song."
He's literally like and the thing is, like, I think what got those people like all riled up is because like you were giving a more technical review of like the actual composition.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
like
what I
very
was doing.
impartial. Yeah, you were given an impartial technical review, which I have seen it also with like, because I used to be in choir for a long time, so I know exactly what you mean. Like the whole concept of analyzing the actual content of the instrumentation, like the sequencing, everything. Like when you were saying, oh, it's kind of interesting how this guy was able to achieve this kind of virality through this like unorthodox tune, which, like you said, does not have the classical, low,
Yes, it's written
then
in an
rise, then
unorthodox
back again.
way.
Yeah.
Most songs
Yeah.
are verse, chorus, bridge,
exactly.
and then final.
It's a
chorus.
pattern. It's an
All he
established
does
pattern. Yeah.
Is verse, chorus. Like that is very unorthodox for a song. Like I was
Yeah.
talking about the technical aspect of the music as a musician, and people were so upset that I wasn't
Yeah.
talking about the
people don't need to
political
get upset.
aspect of it. Like, yeah, there is a political aspect of the song. Everyone else is talking about that. As a musician, I didn't want to talk about the political aspect of the song. It's there, it's in the words, and that's fine. But there's more to music than just words.
Yeah.
So, and then even I'm sorry to cut y'all off. And then even
That's
like
okay. Yeah, I'm polite. Don't
I know
worry.
I should
okay.
after a year,
No,
right? I
it's
still
fine.
say sorry after but I still also listen. I'm not one of those who like, oh, this feels good. I'm not, I don't move off emotions too much. Okay, that is, except for when it's a man who I shouldn't be moving off emotions for. But anyway, whatever. So, but like,
No. Good. Go on.
because you know how that is, like, but that's another story. But like, I don't vote off emotions anymore, right? Or I don't make certain decisions based off of emotions anymore. So it's very rare that you see me say, like, I get it. You know,
I mean, there's a difference between emotion and intuition. Sometimes you have a hunch. Sometimes you feel it's the right thing. Sometimes your sixth sense is telling you go into a certain direction, or maybe there is something, but you're still, of course, careful whether or not you may conclude or not. But just kind of thinking about it is kind of already like kind of meditating, if not. The thing is, nowadays, I feel like we're having the same discussion again like we had with the movies. I mean, what's the matter is that music has lost a little bit of its charm because it's so ever present, because everywhere it gets used, because you get it in advertising, you get it in a car, you get it in elevators, everywhere there's music. So it's not that unique anymore because you get bombarded every day, everywhere with it. And that, you know, kind of takes away the magic. And then you can't really really differentiate, is that good? Like, is this actually, I shot a video about that. It's on my Instagram feed. Like, how can you actually evaluate if the material is good? Like, for yourself, are you in tune still with what resonates with you, what has value with you? Because like, we are getting so much noise, we really have to focus on our art. And that's why the creation on YouTube or the digital creation has become way more relevant. And you know, we get to do, our followers do way crazier things than the, you know, usual followers of Hollywood would ever do, because this is a real space. They can really kind of identify without seeing themselves, right? Always manifested and represented, but because we are sharing the same values.
I agree.
Most music there, you don't, I feel shit when I do listen to music that I like. But I will say that I also have the same taste in music that a middle-aged black woman would. Donna Summer can sing about a fucking cake melting, and I'm just like, oh fuck yeah, I feel that shit. And then you listen to these crazy motherfuckers make music now. I don't feel a goddamn thing.
And you know what? And real quick, because I know we got to move on to another topic. I came and I probably prolonged this topic, right? But the thing is, Coach and Cassie, y'all both made a lot of sense what y'all just said. The song, I like the song. I think it has a little kick to it, right? But I think our standards, and I'm not coming at homie. I'm not, okay? But I think our standards with music is so dumbed down and numb and just because, I mean, even I like rap music. I liked it up until like trap music, but now this drill music, I don't like it. It's just a bunch of like, it's nothing music, right? So we're getting a bunch of nothing music, so that when a man stands in front of a microphone with a banjo and sings a few tunes, I don't like drill music, Atreus, so you can stop making the face. He sings
no, it's not. It's not about the drill. It's not about the drill music. I disagree with the idea that our standards are.
Because we not getting.
Who's your favorite artist, Atreus?
Yeah, our standards.
I don't have a. I listen to a lot of different things.
No. It's not that. Hold on.
Chris Brown.
Just wait. Hold on. Remember when artists used to go?
He had some hits.
Remember when the artists used to go to the
hard
studio
hits
together? When music artists used to actually like meet up, like, oh my God, Michael Jackson's meeting up with Notorious Big, and they're like putting out a track. They don't do that anymore. The music is so digital sounding. I know y'all understand what I'm saying. So when a regular person stands up in front of a mic with a banjo and sings a few tunes, the world kind of goes crazy because it's like, oh, this sounds more natural. I don't know how else to explain it but that. And I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, it says a lot when an artist like ABBA made music back in the 70s and early 80s as a group together before they disbanded. It says a lot when ABBA comes back 40 years later, makes an album, and despite them being able to almost perfectly sing on key, they choose to add electronic sound on purpose to their music just so it doesn't sound retro. They wanted it to sound like them, which they did a successful job at, but they purposely added a little bit of like, I guess, auto-tune to their sound just so it didn't sound old. That says a lot to how music is now. People are so used to that sound.
So, I mean, Sean Green pulls in the comments, says something that I actually really respect. He says, Sound of Freedom wasn't polished either, but struck a nerve with his bright message. I actually disagree, though. Like, I get what you're saying, but Sound of Freedom
was very polished. It was a $15 million budget, but looked like it was shot on something double that. Like there was a lot of care put into Sound of Freedom to make it look more polished than it was, which is to its credit. Like I think that's a good thing. So that just, when you say it wasn't polished, I actually think it was very polished in the best way. It was polished with hard work, labor, and care.
Agree.
So what's
I was gonna say something. Do you guys think that because the expectations are so low from a lot of people that when you get something that is even slightly
over,
like good, over, that thing tends to go harder than it probably would if things were a little more competitive.
Where's Prince? I mean, where are those people? Like
I'm not even talking about music at this point. I'm talking about like let's just talk about like movies, like
video games,
everything. Yeah, you're right.
Wait. With movies, I do have something to say, at least about those, and with TV shows. I don't think is that people's standards are so low. It's just that the stuff that
I didn't say standards. That's expectations.
Sorry, expectations. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, it's not that people are automatically expecting.
Not the same thing.
Well, with expectations,
you can have standards for something, but your expectations of someone else's stuff, it could be totally different than your own standards.
Yeah,
come on, man.
But
Dictionary, gotta get on it.
Wait, hold on now. Damn, bro, you made him go into that creepy ass smile. Damn. Well, look, let me put it this way: with expectations, at least, I think what happened is, at least in the beginning, we're maybe talking about like late 2000s, 2010, early 2010s, around that time period. People's expectations of movies, or at least high budget movies or TV shows, were relatively high, actually, because at the time people still had faith in the machine putting out good products, and believe it or not, at least for I would say around 5-6 years, things seem to be going that way. But then out of nowhere, we get this huge focus on politicizing everything. For no goddamn reason other than
exactly around that time period of politics.
Exactly. And that's what's happening with that song, though, because people are taking this song and they're trying to make it into like an anthem.
And that's when the expectations started to get lower and lower, because people become conditioned to seeing negative constants. So if you all of a sudden, for years you were getting
right.
Hold on, Atreus, let it out. Let it out.
I ain't fucking with none of this shit y'all talking about with this low expectations, low standards bullshit. I don't think it has nothing to do with low expectations, because if it has something to do with low expectations and low standards, then the artists wouldn't be getting the backlash that they're getting today, both in the film industry and the music industry. For example, the hip hop that's coming out right now, because we were talking about hip hop earlier, it ain't a single one charted all year. Why? Because they making garbage. That's not low expectations. Y'all niggas making some trash.
It's not
Atreus. People like applauded Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate for coming out fucking finished. You shouldn't be applauding a video game for coming out finished. That should be the first.
Wait. So why does every time a game come out that's not finished, it gets roasted to fucking hell? I'm not talking about just the fact that it's being bought.
People are finally upset about it. They're getting roasted now.
You're talking coming out. No. You're talking to a nigga who played Anthem 300 hours. That game got roasted.
Yeah, hold on.
Turn the servers off. Stop.
What is not being discussed here is that we motherfuckers are desperate. We're so fucking desperate. We at times are willing to settle for things that we wouldn't normally settle for if we had a buffet of good shit.
We turn ourselves into willing bitches, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yes, there are some.
It's understandable.
There are some people who will still buy Madden every year. Yes, but that's the only football game. I'm saying when it comes to the arts, when we talk about music, video games, and movies, I don't think people's expectations are low, because if their expectations were that low, then people would be thriving putting out bullshit. This year in hip hop has been garbage because nobody's charting. Movies have been garbage as far as Disney. They're suffering because they keep putting out garbage.
So if I could just help you saying what I'm saying. I disagree with Atreus. You're saying what I'm saying. So that's why when something that comes out that might just be half good, right?
Like,
the person
just a little bit better than the rest.
And they're doing it from the heart. in the 90s, that song probably, and I'm not hating on homie.
Mhm.
Again, in the 90s, that song wouldn't have been a big deal like it is
Yeah, I
today.
agree.
We had so many
Yeah.
different
So
artists. to pick
many.
from. Like it would, and that's the
Yeah.
point. You're
It
saying what
was
we're
ridiculous.
saying, basically. So
Not really, because I feel like y'all was saying like people's expectations was low. First of all, with his song, I feel like it blew up because it's political. Like I mean, and we're in such a
I mean,
polarizing.
the
Also in the 90s.
expectations are low. The expectations are low for the people that are dick eating the bullshit. I mean, but that's about it.
But I mean,
That's why I
again,
use the
they
term,
don't know any better.
folks,
So when they hear a little something that might be a little better, then whatever. But
That's
again,
why I
mean, I'm
use the
glad to hear
term
it, though. I
by the
like it.
standards of 2023 as a
Yeah.
rule.
And the
Something
last
can be
comment I'll
good
make
by
the last
today's
comment I'll make-
standards and be bad, say 20 years ago.
The last comment I'll make, somebody said earlier, like where's the Michael Jacksons and the first there will never be another Michael Jackson simply for the fact that too many people have access to making art nowadays. So I genuinely believe there are a lot of songs right now that if they came out in the 90s, they would be considered like not just songs, like artists who are out now. If they had came out in the 90s, the 80s, or whatever, they would be considered superstars. But because you got everybody who can, like, you get any moron who can record a song on his phone and release it.
It's
Some
like
guy
a
will.
shift. At a certain point, it was forbidden for them to be really creative. They kind of blocked the process. At a certain point in time, like I don't know if it happened, probably by the end of the 90s. I feel like they have like put a wedge into it and said, all right, the corporation is going to overtake this type of the creative process. They changed the bass frequencies. They changed the mastering programs. Now, if you want to become like a recording artist with one of those big networks, it is impossible for you. It's almost impossible for you to obtain any type of freedom or independency. They will oversee the entire process. You will just deliver your energy and you go home into your Hollywood Hills mansion and shut up and come back tomorrow. That's so.
Yeah.
For them, it has always been the case of exploiting the artist. Nothing has changed, even during Motown times, even when we were creating probably the best music, like those 13 magical years, Motown grinded out more hits than the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Elvis, and the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
They've made more number one hits than all of these bands combined.
And while I do praise Barry Gordy, he's a great dude for creating what he did. He also is he's a terrible he's a bad person in terms of business. Some of the greats of Motown, if you actually hear what became of them, it's sad. It's actually kind of depressing.
It's impossible to have great creation and you don't accept the eccentric, the eccentric part about it, and you say, oh no, this is not right. You should behave like it. You want art, right? You want this.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Pretty.
So
Jesus Christ,
So
decent art. Holy fuck! Like, here's the thing. This was going to bring up my next point. The problem is that the reason why this song is being elevated to such a status is because we also live in a time where, unfortunately, a lot of people have been deprived of, up to the point of starvation, like emotional, mental starvation, if you will, of quality. So in a sense that when something of what we would have considered 20 years ago quality comes up, all of a sudden we elevate it to a higher level because we live in a time where the stuff that we're getting, most of it is dog shit. That's why average things get elevated. Look,
that's why I love Seagal movies.
Yeah, exactly.
They're awful, but by today's standards,
You
they
know
would
what?
be
I feel
good.
bad.
They're the model.
And like with Andor too, like it's the same thing with like Star Wars. People are like, "Oh my god, all of Star Wars is trash," and then Andor comes out, nobody watches it, but the few people that do, they're like, say, "Oh, it's the greatest thing ever," and then people are like, "What the fuck you mean? Disney Star Wars equals shit?" And then when they watch it, they're like, "No, you're actually right." And when you compare it to other TV series from like back in the day, it's just average. But the thing is, it's so much shit that's being shoved down everyone's throats that at one point when you see average, you just kind of accept it because it's the best thing ever. Because fuck, we're not going to get anything good for next months, at least, or years.
Well, real
a good
quick,
way to segue to the next topic, unless you guys want to keep talking about this.
Oh yeah, wait, what's
I was gonna say, too. But I noticed that our guest wasn't talking much, and I didn't get a chance to meet him, and so.
Oh no, you're good. No, I said. I started
Rolo
at
is
the
buying
beginning.
his next shotgun. Yeah, he's looking at it right now.
Looking for it's a
Rolo
hunting
looks
rifle.
like
Actually,
Brittany Venti, Casey. Can you see it?
No,
No.
he does not. He looks better.
there you go.
It's because
Those are
Brian's
talking about.
glasses are like times 24. So, yeah. Well, again, say what you're gonna say before we go to the next topic.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yes.
No, I was trying to give the mic really to our guest. That's all I was.
Oh,
trying
Rolo
to
can
do.
speak if he wants on the topic.
I mean,
before we
all right,
continue.
you don't have to. Okay. But I
You
just
can't let me
on.
say go to
I just
Rolo
wanted
and then
to
you're
hear
like,
what you
okay,
had
I'll
to
take
say.
it. It's a woman thing to do. It's like,
Oh my
Never
god.
mind.
It's just like handing him a drink and then
all right,
canning
Rolo's
it
gonna
back.
speak and then Casey speaks. Go ahead.
No, go to the next topic. Yo.
No,
I
Rolo's
just-
gonna speak and then Casey. It's my show.
God,
Rolo,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry,
just-
dog.
No,
Let me
I
on
think
my
it's-
feet, because like
I
now
think-
I'm too red.
I think it's like what I said earlier. I think whether you think the song is good or not musically, or if it's quality, I think that's irrelevant. That's not why the song is popular. The song is popular because it's saying the right thing at the right time. Like I said, this is what it is. That you can't judge it. I don't even think you can judge it any other way than that. That's why it is successful. That's why it's good. That's why people love it. Yes, a lot now. You know,
Didn't
some of his
Disney
other
make the
songs
same
are
argument for
transcending,
Black
but-
Panther? Disney was like, you can't judge this movie as a movie. It's the greatest thing for Black people ever. It's an emotional experience for Black people. You
The
can't.
difference
I
is,
think-
the
yeah, I know.
difference
I
is the
think we were
Black
listening to
Panther
social
did not do as well as they said.
Yeah.
The message behind Black Panther did not equal that movie actually reaching levels where it's like, oh yeah, that made like $2 billion. Of course, it transcended everything. That's the difference
made
here,
1.4.
because this wasn't something that was shoved down our throats. Like this, we're gonna market this song right here. Black Panther was shoved down our throats. It was marketed.
Okay,
So that's a
fair
totally different example. Yeah. So that's what it is. So you have to judge things. I'm judging in the context of history. I'm not, and it's not even music history. It's music history in the sense that there are songs that are historically relevant. Whether you think the song is good or not, that's irrelevant. It's how did it affect history in the time that it was created. And I think that's what we're looking at here. So
Yeah, no,
again,
and
it's
that's
not.
fair. I can agree with that.
So I think that's why there's no confusion here. Why are people talking about it? That's the why. When the normies see when the veil is pierced and the normies see it, then that's why things become a big deal. And sometimes as people that are awake, or even like we do this in fandom all the time, like you're like, man, well, I like that show. I was into Star Wars before anybody else. Now it's mainstream. Like it annoys me. Because when I was back in the day, everyone called me a nerd and a loser because I was into it. Now I'm not. So sometimes I think we're victims of that it's like, well, we've seen this. We've been awake for a long time, or I've been a fan of this forever. So now that people are into it, I'm like, well, I don't understand what the big deal is. I've known this for a long time. But you have to understand, when people are so blinded because either their lives are complicated, they're dealing with day-to-day things like the real world, they don't even watch things a lot. Like, look, let's talk about like the biggest streamers in the world. Like Tim Pool is probably one of the biggest media streamers around. He gets like anywhere between, when he's lucky during election season, maybe like 100,000 people watching him. There's 330 million people in the United States.
I know.
So I mean,
Just the
yes,
US
that's
alone.
huge. That's absolutely huge, but think that's minuscule. So the fact that any sort of message gets out in that's huge. Like even these news networks, they get like what, 2-3 million people watching sometimes, and that's like huge. Again, that's like 1% of the population of just this country, let alone the entire world. So sometimes that's how you have to look at things. It's like you really have to bring in the context of everything.
Yeah, I think it's when many people from many different parts of the world spread that message. So, like, if you reach maybe like 100,000 total, like you said with Tim Pool, not all those 100,000 people are watching are going to be from the U.S. A small percentage could be from Canada, others from the UK, others from Japan, and through that small percentage of that diaspora of people that you gathered, they will now spread the message of what you've been saying, and then it creates a ripple effect where all of a sudden everyone becomes aware this way. You know, that's just always fascinating.
Yep.
Which is what I was saying at first, as to why I understood why tears came out of people's eyes, and why normally when I'm not trying to just move based off of a feel good all the time, this time I took it in. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna overanalyze this because I can do that and be like, oh, here they go. They don't even care really like that. And da da da. I said, no, I'm not gonna overanalyze this. You know, I do believe in God, and I've been wanting to see the culture. It's all downstream. You know what I mean? Like it's like the culture affects everything, right? And maybe that pierced through a teeny bit of the culture where, you know, like, I don't know, like people can stop bickering over things that don't matter and understand that, like, look at this ginger white boy in the woods with a banjo is, you know, he's representing this black kid with the dreads in the video who's like dancing to the song, right? A representation, right?
And I think
Look
that's
at
why
that.
it didn't affect me. Like I didn't really emotionally get connected to this song purely because okay, like for a lot of us have been talking about this stuff and in this, you know, culture war or whatever since like 2014, since Gamergate. And you know, so if you've been dealing with this stuff for 10 years, now this song's not going to hit you. We've already been talking about it for 10 years. So like I'll be honest, the song is a good song, but it did not emotionally impact me because it's what I've been hearing and talking about for about a decade now.
And so I just want to back up what you just said there, because I know somebody else on Twitter who was like, I don't understand why everybody's crying. And he's older than us, so he's been seeing the change of America since like back in like the 70s, 80s, like, you know what I mean? So he's really like been looking at things and seeing like he's like, yeah, I saw this coming. Anyway. But I'm explaining to him, I'm like, you know, there's a lot of other people. 4 years ago, if you would have told me I would be talking to y'all, I would be like, what? Or Tim Pool. 4 years ago, I didn't know who Tim Pool was, right? So but people are waking up. And so for them, this is why, for me, yeah, you've been talking about it for 10 years, all of this. I've only been talking about this stuff for 3 years. But now, lately I've been asking, like, you know, I don't want to get over, you know, spiritual and everything, but I do connect to the creator, and I ask him, like, allow me to see people as people, because I do analyze things so much that sometimes I get so jaded. I take the emotion out of it, and we have to remember to put a little bit of emotion back in, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, I guess my final thought on it is that, like, so I definitely, I can understand what you're saying completely. And then Metalopoly says it's helping wake up normies, and I'm all for that. Like, that's awesome. I am glad the song is helping wake normies up. But like when I did my review of the song, I went in it with a kind of like academic sort of, I'm going to break down the music, my thoughts on how it's written as a song and whatnot. And then just got like blasted in my comments, and they're like, he's being authentic, you're missing the message. And I'm like, okay, but I'm being authentic in my review as well. It seems like you guys only care about authenticity when it caters to your worldview. Like,
I think it's a difference in what the song was meant for versus the way you probably analyzed it. You were analyzing it from a professional standpoint, and people really just don't care about that. They more so care about how it struck with them. And again, it's kind of like what Rolo said. Rolo said, piercing the veil, right? Like piercing the veil of normies. Like there is that. I really genuinely believe, because of the internet, there is that veil of like people who are terminally online versus people who are never online. And then you have that middle ground, right? And when certain messages try to reach the other side, once you pierce that veil, that's what happens. So a song like this just happened to actually reach the other side. And that's why it went so viral, because you really can't have a viral moment unless it reaches a massive amount of people, right? That's the whole point. So you're never going to go viral if all you're trying to do is send something out there that the people who are already in your echo chamber are going to listen to. Yeah. It's never going to happen. But if you send something out there that happens to be picked up by the other side, which does happen every now and then, and it doesn't have to be anything unique for it to happen, then yes, you get this situation where unfortunately people take something that came from, maybe it did come from a genuine side, maybe it didn't, but it looks like it did. They take something that came from a genuine place and they turned it into a statement. Both sides are doing it. I'm
gonna say again, it's a good song. I liked the song, but because I dared criticize the song despite liking it, I'm immediately a target. Like, that doesn't make sense. I thought we were
Here's a good way to think about it. Just because Breath of the Wild and it runs at and Tears of the Kingdom, it runs on the Switch, it's low resolution, 30 frames per second. You can bitch about the graphics all day. Nobody's going to care. That's the way it is. So like people, when they love what it is, they're going to look past a lot of the flaws, especially things like that when it transcends something for them. So
See, I
there,
don't know, that
it's
just doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
it's
I know people
it's
are gonna
you're
do that,
making
but
a
it doesn't
logical
make
argument
sense.
against an emotional reaction, and
Yeah.
that's what we deal with all
Yeah.
the time.
It
I know
is.
it's
It is
like
emotional.
I will vote for Trump. I like Trump, but he's got fucking problems, you know, and I will acknowledge those
Mhm.
problems. Like, why
Yeah.
do people need to be able to be logical? I get loving something. I love Dragon Ball Z. It's my favorite franchise of anything of all time. It doesn't mean it doesn't have flaws. Like, it does have flaws.
Don't you dare
So
criticize Dragon Ball Z.
But I think this.
we should be able to point out the flaws in the things that we like and enjoy.
Do you see that statue in the
There's
background?
There's a difference between pointing out a flaw of something you love versus
Future
just
Trunks,
making
baby.
an entire.
Everywhere.
Man, I got a statue of Launch behind me, an OG Dragon Ball figure. Don't you try and flex your Dragon Ball knowledge on me.
video
Andreas, what were you gonna say? Go ahead and finish.
No, y'all got it. You go ahead.
What is that?
I mean, honestly, I absolutely love getting into arguments with Dragon Ball fans. The only thing that I have to say is that the Boo saga was a filler, and they are fucking livid, and they can't fight it.
Look,
It
the
actually
point
hurts me
is-
to admit that that's true, but go ahead. Anyway.
Yeah, like look in life at the end of the day, like people will have their own.
Trey isn't back when we said Boo Saga.
He's a Boo saga fanboy.
Oh,
definitely
I know.
is.
Never seen Dragon Ball Z.
Oh goodness, but you know, at the end of the day, like people will have different.
I removed him for never seeing Dragon Ball Z.
I'm like,
I am poor. That's why I must buy Steven Seagal movie collection.
So you have a tower, a set of twin towers just waiting to get brought down.
Yo,
Careful what you say, my friend.
I'm-
You're gonna get this whole
I'm
thing.
an ex-New Yorker, please. Don't give me PTSD. Thank you.
Don't start talking about Twin Towers.
Oh man.
Well, listen, guys, we have
We
have 10 minutes left in the stream. I just kind of wanted to touch on a couple of things since we do have a special guest tonight. If Rolo doesn't mind, I just want to. I tend to ask like the guests a couple of questions just to kind of get a little information out there. So, when did you actually join Geeks and Gamers? Like how long ago?
So it was last May. It was at the end of last May, the year before. So 2022 is when that happened. So like I
Okay.
said, my wife and I, we got into YouTube, we were like off of social media for years. Like I hated it. It was terrible. I was like, people just talk shit and I don't share my life out there. So I don't really care. So then we got into Second Amendment advocacy, firearms, things like that after Parkland. So this just became like a serious story. So, and we saw how politicians like betrayed us. And then I was like, I want to get involved in it. So my wife was like, hey, there's like actually a big like political gun community on the IG. Started getting into that. Eventually went to different rallies, things like that. Had a few people mentor us that brought us on podcasts and like, you know what, you and your wife are pretty good at this. You guys should do your own show. So we started doing our own political podcast once a week. And eventually we started talking about our different interests because it's clear like what I'm into based on what's behind me. So it was always like, there's like a stereotype for people that own guns. There's always like they're just a bunch of rednecks up in the mountains, and they're all crazy. And it's like that's absolutely not true. So wanted to kind of set that example, bridge to different sides. Like I said earlier, Ripa's assistant watched our show early on. She got us on his show back in the day. It was never aired because it was like 2 days before January 6th. And everything that we talked about basically got like blown up after that.
Nice.
So so that never aired, but we ran into Ripa. We ran in similar circles. We knew a lot of different people. So got to interview him. If you go to our channel, it's like the main one of the videos that plays automatically, or you can look for it. And so we actually got to have him in person while we were at this conference together. And from that, watched him on Mario Kart with G&G, watched Jeremy and all the other members of G&G, became friends with Johnny64. So he's there on Mario Kart. Found out he's into guns. We talked about guns, played Fortnite. And Jeremy sat in on us playing one day. And he was like, hey, who is this guy? I kind of like him. He's pretty cool. And he found out that we knew Ripa, talked to Ripa. And Ripa was like, yeah, man, these guys are awesome. I love them. So then Jeremy asked us if we wanted to join the team. And that's how it worked. So we were at MegaCon in Orlando and actually got to meet everyone in person. I guess Jeremy kind of sized us up and it was like, well, they're not a bunch of freaks or anything like that. Like they're actually legit. They're not like weirdos in person, like, you know, they're not fake or anything. So yeah, I guess he sized us up, and that's all she wrote, and it's been a pretty crazy ride. We moved from South Florida to Orlando since Jeremy was setting up the Geeks and Gamers headquarters here, so we're not too far from that. And yeah, it's been, I've always been like, let life take you wherever it goes. Like, we started this in one thing, and it's helped, you know, our message, what we want to talk about, when it comes to the Second Amendment, our political views, freedom, things like that. And it also lets us talk about the things that we love, you know, the franchises, the entertainment, and kind of give a spin of both. Like, on the conservative side, a lot of entertainment is looked down upon, artistry, things like that. That's to a huge detriment to conservatives and libertarians, casting that away, because that's what people love at the end of the day. You know, a lot of times we do jobs that are mundane. We're just trying to pay the bills. We get home, we want to be entertained by either, you know, our books, whether it's comics or you know, novels or entertainment, video games, things like that. That's what we want. So why not bridge those things together, and why be beat over the head with a message all the time? So it's been a pretty cool ride.
Do you what exactly do you do with Geeks and Gamers, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so at this point, I do a lot of the gaming streams there. So I guess Jeremy thought I was pretty good at video games, so we usually stream a lot of my perspective, especially if we're playing Fortnite.
Yeah, I see
that's
that
just been his obsession. And I'm on Tuesday night's main event. I also fly drones, so I'm a licensed drone pilot. That's one of my other like side passions.
That's different. That's cool.
Yeah, so I've
cool.
flown drones for G&G. Like, we have a video that we're probably going to come out with soon.
Oh,
with
the
that.
helicopter drones, not the
Yeah,
other
the
ones.
quadcopters. Yeah, like the small camera drones. So
That's cool. Do you so do you do any of your own content yourself, or are you just focused on the team, like Geeks and Gamers, and getting all that stuff together?
Yeah, we mostly do our live stream and our own video game stream. So that's how we've always been doing live content from the start. There's just nothing like being on people's shows like this, different panel shows. There's nothing like the chat. The chat's the best thing ever. So I've never been like, you know, dropping news videos or things like that. Maybe that's to my detriment. But I've always loved, like, if you watch our show, I just go on rants. Like, I'll go 30 minutes without taking a breath on this, and I'll bring history, you know, different things together, because I usually start with an idea, and then as I go, it just starts popping in my head, like where this is going to take me, and I usually just go crazy with that. So that's not necessarily always suitable to short form videos, but I love the extemporaneous nature of live streaming, and I love getting derailed by the chat. Like, you guys are always the best in the chat. You guys always ask the crazy questions, or, you know, you challenge us. And I think that's the best thing ever. Or just give us a different perspective. Like, you know what? I never thought about that before. So it's awesome.
I agree. Anybody else have questions?
I actually have a question, because you
Absolutely.
said you the Second Amendment with the Parkland,
Mhm.
and you said that you saw how your politicians betrayed you. Are
Yes.
you talking about because I believe that's when Trump put like the bump stops or something, like the bump stop ban? Is that kind of like what you're talking about? Because I know a lot of people.
The bump stocks was after the Las Vegas, what happened in Las Vegas. So that's where kind of that happened. But in Florida, it was pretty much, they changed the age of purchase for, you know, rifles to 21. They added the red flag laws, which, you know, they can basically take away your firearms without due process based on accusations. So that basically violates the Constitution.
Right.
So seeing all those things, you know, in a state that Florida was always pretty free with firearms, was you know, was a big shock. And it was Republicans, because Republicans have controlled Florida.
What year was that
decades.
what year was that when that happened?
That was 18, I believe, 2018.
Sorry, can I ask you who the governor was at the time? Real quick? Who was the governor at the time?
That was
DeSantis?
Rick Scott.
Oh, it was Rick Scott. Okay,
Mhm. Rick Scott was the governor.
My bad.
Mhm.
I'm like, no, all right. Okay, yeah, that I just yeah, I get what you're saying with that. Around that time I wasn't paying too much attention to things. I didn't believe in gun control, but I just paid a little bit of attention, but I didn't realize that they did all that in Florida.
That's how it was. Yeah, that's how it was for me. I was you know, I was always that guy that a lot of my friends that were older, they fought in the war on terror. They were in the Marine Corps. My dad was in the military, so, you know, they taught me how to shoot. They took me out there.
We're sorry.
Leona doesn't even realize.
I prefer knives myself, Rolo.
Leona
I
has
am
no
British
idea.
after all.
My wife loves knives. She just got
Oh,
a
she
new
fit
knife.
right in.
Oh yeah, she's the knife
Leon
person.
still
So
hasn't
she
even
loves
noticed.
it. So
Oh,
I always think that's fun. I was like,
Sorry,
she likes it up close and
I just
personal,
checked
I
something.
guess.
Thank you, I man.
I do find it interesting that a lot of the people I met on YouTube, especially over the last few months, they all have a very similar story in the sense that something happened over the last couple of years that made them say either enough is enough or they just kind of want to get involved or whatever the case may be. Casey's got a very similar story like that as well, and I think it's interesting.
Thank
The
you
response
for
to
helping me out.
COVID.
Yeah,
the
the-
response to COVID has woken a lot of
reaction
people
of the
up from
pendulum,
bullshit,
right?
man.
Mine was Rings of Power. That shit made me so angry.
Yeah.
Like that thing sucked balls. After that,
For me, it
it's
was
when
my
the-
conscience. It was telling
Yeah.
me to speak my mind, even
Yeah.
at a risk of a prison sentence.
So that shit had made a
Up to
mistake.
5 years.
Yeah.
Conscious made a mistake. The racism came out.
Ryan, your
Nah,
country
yeah.
sucks balls.
It's
I
yeah.
know.
Well, ours isn't too far behind, but they have all the stuff in place to turn into
Well, at least we have
Australia.
AC.
You know, I could go on forever. I'm not going to, but I've done those kind
We
of
need
things.
Casey on the new show of reality based politics, which is one
Yeah.
of 6 new shows.
Oh man, I would definitely love to do that because I mean they've
that'd be
written
great.
bills that effectively strip our rights. You know, at the very thought of like, I mean, when they're ready to bring in certain things, they have everything in place to do it. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
For me, it was
time's up.
a lot of Rings of Power. Rings of Power was
Yeah.
a big thing.
Jesus. No, that
And,
thing made me want to speak because, like, after what? Because for most of the time, I was
It is
just
very
sitting there, you know, going like, "Oh yeah, all this crazy thing in politics happening, yada yada yada." You know, things going downhill over there and whatnot. But I may have some opinions about it, but you know, I don't feel that compelled to talk about it. But when this
Right.
show came out and the
Enough
disrespect
is
they
enough.
showed,
Enough is enough.
no, it was enough because literally at that point you're attacking literature at its core. Like this man, like this man's works is what popularized high
Atreus don't
fantasy
give a
that led
damn,
to
Dragon.
other
Open up
subgenres.
the
Can't
door
read.
for everything. He is the godfather of everything that we
Exactly.
now call a franchise because he
Him and
brought that
C.S.
from-
Lewis, like him and C.S. Lewis and all these old writers, like they popularized
him.
fantasy.
Right.
So after that, you know, we just said we got to do
Black
something.
people
about
don't
it.
like fantasy, Dragon.
Well, you know, that's
Don't
that's
like
what
it.
it-
we know.
Well, that's
Everyone
what it was.
down here don't like it. I don't
People-
like it. Atreus don't like it. Casey
like
don't
it.
like it.
I like
Oh,
it.
Casey thinks
Well,
it's
okay,
like
that black girl over there says she likes fantasy. That's an exception
I
to
got
the
black
rule. That's not
clothes on,
standard.
so I can't.
Rolo, what were you gonna say?
No, I was like, we took kind of Western civilization for granted because, like, what we've had, not just in the United States, but the U.S. is always the best example of this. Was the exception to the norm. Like for thousands of years of human history, except for times in ancient Greece and Rome and a few other civilizations sprinkled about, it's always authoritarianism. It's always some sort of king or authoritarian regime on top that controls everything, and it's basically some sort of oligarchy. So a few elites on top with a king or an emperor or whatever authoritarian title you want to give for this person, and
Right.
everyone else is a peasant. That's pretty much how it is. So for the first time in history, for the last like 300 years, people could rise above being a peasant. They could actually work their way up to becoming an elite themselves and being in a position of power. And that was unprecedented. So we kind of take that for granted and we luxuriated in it. It was
Right.
like easy, like this is awesome.
Yeah.
It's better than ever. And slowly we lost sight of the fact
Because
that
it's
could
too
be
much.
used to
Yeah.
control us.
Of
Because
course.
if
Very
we're all
dangerous.
distracted.
Stabilize us, influence us, manipulate us, bring us into a certain direction and assume a certain tendency they like us to assume. They like us to react in a certain direction. They like us to react in a certain way so they can pretty much predict the way we react and so kind of keep us in this very safe and quiet position. And that's crazy because the system, we see it right now in a way we haven't, maybe through, the type of lies mounting up because our higher consciousness, because we are seeing more enlightenment, whatever it is, but we're seeing it more clearly now. And I think this wake-up call is also, digitally happening. We're, transmigrating. Like, look, we're 3 hours in. So
what?
we are in this digital world. We are representing this new type of voice. But of course, if you hear too much voices, you get distracted again.
Absolutely.
So
I can't take it. Coach. But go ahead.
I will say that a famous line from Jurassic Park: "Nature always finds a way," and I feel like what happens is, there is a certain ideology that has become prominent over the last, XYZ amount of years, and there will always be an opposite, and that opposite's starting to show itself, and it happens to be independent creators and media.
Well,
so
here's
it's
the thing.
gonna. Well, there's no here's the thing because we got to wrap up. So that's all I
No,
wanted to
yeah,
say.
no. I was gonna just add to your point. Like,
Go ahead,
nature
go
finds
ahead.
a way is great, but here's the thing: that people don't realize humans are also part of nature. So if nature finds a way, so will humanity find a way back to even ground. That we just go through cycles of periods where shit is nice and smooth, and then it goes bad, and then it goes right back down to normality.
Real quick,
This is just one of those learning periods.
Real quick, if I could just because what you said, Rolo, like you're right. We took it for. I'm not going to take long. We did take it for granted. You're absolutely right. And America is the only place where we quote govern ourselves. And I believe that a lot of other countries around us back in, when we were founded, were very angry about that. They were very angry about the fact that we were doing so good. Obviously, none of us were there, right? In the early 1900s. But either way, something happened, and socially we got infiltrated a certain way, and there's a denigration that's happening that happened, and we got spoiled, all of that. But we have to fight for it because it is America's not just an idea, it is real, but we have to fight for it. So we have to go through the tribulations, but I think we'll be okay.
Well, the thing is, at the end of every tribulation, there will be an upper end. We will. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. It's a cycle. What's that fucking saying?
It's the fourth
about
cycle.
hard.
Strong men
Hard times create. Yeah.
Hard times create strong men.
Yeah.
Strong men create good times. Good times
Yeah.
create weak men.
Yep.
Et cetera, et cetera. You guys know what I'm saying. But that's true. It actually really is true. So.
The circle of life.
But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, episode 52 is in the books. Coach is going to show us his awesome drawing.
That's cool. Gotta go to Art Basel. You got to take that stuff there, man.
Nice.
You're in Miami now.
I think Emily wanted that drawing, the other one.
That drawing is
Pretty
nice.
sure. So
A German artwork? What could possibly go wrong?
Well, one was a mustache man,
Hey, that was Austria. That was Austria.
It's still German, Rolo.
Oh
They
my
speak the
god!
same language.
Well, one was a really good artist, but he had a funny looking mustache, and he got really depressed. I'm
Sure
sorry,
did.
I couldn't help it.
all right, guys.
I'm
Episode
sure.
52 is in the books. I appreciate everybody coming around and hanging out with us tonight on this awesome live stream doing 1 year anniversary. We're going to start our outros with good old Atreus. Love the comment.
Oh yeah, stream's gonna start back soon, guys. We just gotta get to the new studio and get a couple of things taken care of. But you can find me at Atreus_Max on Twitter, Atreus on everything else. All right.
Thank you, good sir. We also got our local Klansman, Ryan Roger Ate. Take it away.
Well, thank you all very much for watching, folks. If you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe to this channel and this stream. You can check me out at Ryan Roger Ate. I am not a cat. I am Ryan Roger Ate. And hopefully you enjoy what I have to offer. Check out Rolo as well, the male version of Brittany Venti. Yes. And Atreus is tired, so I'll be quiet now.
You look like a Bolshevik, like fucking soldier from like back in the day.
I got the nose
Fucking
for it,
beanie
Dragon.
and the hair.
I like the little hat. Oh, it's my
Echo
turn.
Casey, take it away.
Well, I am so excited. I got to make it to the 1 year anniversary of Saturday Night Hypnosis. It's been amazing being allowed to be a part of this, because I remember when I used to be in the audience and like a few people were watching, but y'all been great from day one. From day one. And Hypno, thank you for being so consistent to do this every Saturday for a year. That's insane. Like Wow, that is insane. So shout out to Hypno for that. Thank you to the chat though for coming through to watch, because without the chat, there is no live, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so thank you to everybody. I'm just grateful, feeling really grateful tonight. I did have a little sip of something before I got here. Maybe that's why I'm so grateful. No, I'm always grateful. But anyway, you can catch me at That Girl Casey. That's where my channel is, where I talk about everything, because everything is connected. I mean, you just saw a snippet of that. We went from the rich men of Richmond. I don't know the name of the song, to talking about America and being founded and everything. It's all connected. It's all connected. So I talk about everything on that channel. I'm gonna start streaming again. I'm gonna start, bringing myself back on, because something weird is happening. Like I had a video that just blew up, but I only got 3 subscribers from it. That's odd. It never happens to me, but whatever. It's okay. I enjoy doing this. So I'll stop right there and I'll just, yeah, that's where you can find me on That Girl Casey. And you can find me on the Bring the Asteroid channel as well. That's a new conglomerate that we've started. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And on Twitter, you can find me on That Girl Casey 1. I'm really fun on Twitter. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you are.
Awesome. All right, the Coach MC, take it away, sir.
It was a fantastic night. Thank you so much, everybody for stopping by. I can't believe we just wrapped episode number 52. Come over to the Coach MC studio if you want to enjoy acting tips, film reviews, and a little bit of insights of what I had the pleasure to kind of acquire over time as an actor and as a coach. I like to give people something useful so they can step up their performance, whatever their performance might look like, and work a little bit on the communication, on the output, and on the narrative. So come over to the Coach MC studio, enjoy the panel next week. Thank you so much, Hypnotic, for making it happen again.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you very much.
One day we'll see Coach wearing a shirt that has all the buttons on him attached.
It's never
One
happening.
day. We got to donate, though, to get that.
Never happening. All right, our
He will
special
rip
guest,
the buttons off.
Rolo, the Puerto
Hey.
Rican pistolero, man. Thank you again
Thanks.
for joining.
Hey, my pleasure, man. And for your 1-year anniversary, that's really awesome. So I'm honored to be here, and love the chat. The chat is freaking awesome, and then everyone here in the panel. You can check me out and my wife on Locked and Loaded Latinos on YouTube,
Sure.
Kick, and Rumble. We're gonna have our show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So come check it out.
Very cool.
We will come over,
Very
man.
much.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
All right. I don't want to dead name you, so I'm gonna call you Leona. Leona, take it away.
The most respectful army of bigots I've ever met, the most inclusive army of bigots. Thank you for having me back on the 1-year anniversary. And you can subscribe at Words of Paradise, or YouTube isn't your thing. You can check out my OnlyFans at Ryan Roger Athay's secret.
Oh my God.
Yes. Thank you for having me on. It's always a blast. Obviously, the chat and the crew, the panel, it makes every Saturday night. I mean, we can all agree and disagree and have these fun arguments that a lot of people aren't going to have. You get so much echo chambers on both the left and the right, and then we get to come here. We get to make jokes, make fun of Hollywood, get into argument matches and whatnot, and then still be all friends at the end. And it's truly one of the most healthy groups of people I've ever been around. So I cannot say that I appreciate it enough. I've been here for 12 weeks now or something. And it truly is true.
Dirty bastard.
Sub to everybody on the panel because they're all fantastic, and to our bigot leader, congratulations on a year, bud.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you so much. And we got the
man.
Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer commentaries. Take it away.
God,
Yes.
fucking OnlyFans come and killed me. Right. Right. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
the only
That-
fans is Ryan Roger Athay's dirty secret.
Fuck, hold on.
You will
Fucking
hang from
hell.
the nearest lamppost.
You didn't say the key word, Ryan. Come on.
Tranny demon.
Thank you.
There, take it away,
That's right. Okay. Okay, guys. So if you guys want to check out my channel, you can find me at Dragon Slayer commentaries on the search bar is literally the only name that is written like that on YouTube, or you can click the link in the description. And if you want to follow me on Twitter not a porn site X. That's my ad right there, right below my name. I've come out recently with a.
Hey, me too.
Fuck you, fuck you, you cunt. Right. So I've come out recently with my part 2 of that Witcher season 3 basically debacle of how shitty that show was. It'd be nice if you guys go check it out. I did put on that one in the first one, and all my videos I do put a lot of effort into them because I want people to have a good time while they hear why a certain show or movie sucks or is great. But also on a side note, I do want to thank everyone on the panel. You guys are always great. And Hypno, really, man, it's awesome that you've reached to this point, dude. I never even imagined we would get to this point so quickly as we have. And also, I do have to point out. Yeah, exactly. And, I also have to point out, somebody did a quick little sneaky dono, a 50 dono out of nowhere. And
I know, I'm gonna
KBG.
do it.
Crazy.
I'm gonna do it. Yep.
Oh, man. You guys are awesome. That's just it for me.
Thank you, sir. And of course, we got Cult Classic Cage. Rage Cassie, take it away.
Yeah, it's first off, thank you for having me here. Congratulations, 1 year. The commitment, is clearly there, and of course we all see it, and that's why we want to celebrate everyone in the chat as well as this here. Seeing the commitment, it inspires other people. It really does, and we're all committed to doing the things that we're passionate about, and it goes to show that it is rewarded. So definitely, everyone keep up the grind. Keep doing your thing and just having fun with it. And that's what this is all about. I have fun being here every Saturday night. And I'm lucky to have the free time to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And and when you make something that sometimes, like entertainment, we constantly say is in the shits, but we somehow make the trash entertainment fun to talk about. And we just have to add our little spin to it, and that's what it's all about. But guys, if you're into video games, I also talk about general pop culture. I kind of stay away from politics because at this point, I'm ready to go to the point where we start mass not paying taxes. In protest.
Yes,
So
please.
like until
God,
we
I
get
wish we could get away with it.
until we start having that discussion, to me, any other political discussion is kind of like pointless. But yeah, if you just want to play video games with me, hit me up on Twitter, Cult Classic Cage, Kick, because it's a dope ass alternative to Twitch, and love streaming on there, having fun. And of course, YouTube, man, talk video games all the time. Anything, like I love, connecting with the chat, hitting up the comments, just having fun and having a discussion between you guys and my thoughts and all that, man.
Rock on. I just want to say I'm very jealous of your collection.
Thank
Oh
you.
no,
It is growing. Every video I watch of you is growing, and I'm like, fuck, I need to get on my shit.
Over here was kind of a mess. I'm like, I need to fix this.
No, definitely.
Now I have
It's
it
coming.
situated.
It's coming together really good. So I just wanted to.
Thank you.
Can I just say, because I was the only girl on the show for like a little bit, and then there was another girl coming. I was like, damn, another woman. I don't know, man. I don't mess with women like that. I am so excited.
too.
about
I'm the
Cassie,
same.
'cause, like she's so cool and genuine. I was like, oh, thank God. Where did he find her?
No, it's a breath of fresh air because naturally I also don't really get along with women. So to like actually have like awesome discussions with other females that have a level head, I really do appreciate that because it's very rare.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Very
On that note, you were quiet the whole time, and you just have to throw in that fucking misogynist.
Man.
I love it. KBG, one of the original OG supporters, and is the other Super Saiyan 3 badge member. Been a member for a year.
Yes.
Shout out to KBG, dropping a 50. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go for pink on your 1 year anniversary. Much love, Hypnotic. That is true. KBG was the first $50 super chat.
Yeah,
that is absolutely true, bro. That is incredible.
Slayer was there for that. I think.
Yeah, that was amazing though. Like at the time, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yep, it was awesome.
We were tiny as hell. And also, I do have to mention one thing. T-Gap, the sneaky motherfucker, was giving us shade while throwing out our channel links every
He's been
time.
doing that for the past like 5 streams, bro.
I know, but it's just like, what
It's
caught my
hilarious.
attention was the one he put on freaking Cage.
Yeah.
Really,
You know
the
what?
self-proclaimed
No, I thi-
middle-aged black woman.
Exactly what it
And
is.
why did he put
No.
justice for Pooh Bear for Rolo? What did Jay hire him
Because
to kill him?
he's tying Rolo and Jay together. That's why.
He asked him
No, we
for a
do
fucking
not
side
give
rifle.
justice to the leader of China. We don't do that
Oh,
here.
Xi Jinping's
Definitely
got
not.
to go down with the CCP.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, on that note, thank you guys so much for all your support. As always, episode 52 is in the books, and we're officially starting our next year journey. So it's going to be awesome. The channel is going to continue growing. The show is going to continue growing. We're going to keep having amazing guests like Rolo on the stream to spice things up, and it's going to be epic, man. So on that note, thank you guys so much for everything. Of course, go subscribe to everybody on the panel as always, and we'll see you guys on the next one. And don't forget to always be bigots. Have a great night.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.